Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody from all around the world, hello and welcome to another episode of The Welch with me, your host, Jean-Luc Watchman. Some noise, clap it up, get excited, wherever you are. We're back, we're here, and we're on time for an endeavor of epic proportions and a great show for you today as we are reacting to the world. Honestly, shock and all. Some people wasn't even a shock. It was a straight up foregone conclusion that we would see the likes of Teofimo Lopez decimate and destroy, get destroyed, by Shakur Stevenson in a monumental event of absolute lunacy from the perspective of a one-sided affair that we thought it could be close, and we sure enough knew that you should expect to see Shakur Stevenson do what he can do best. But lo and behold, when we talk about just complete control, it was in a way that was like no other. Straight up, it was a shock. That's the best thing I can say. It was a straight up shock. Shocking all in every sense of the word. And we're going to talk about it all right here on the show with you. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Come on, be a part of the hottest show in all the globe right here on YouTube and on every podcasting platform imaginable right here on the Welch Report. Leave a like on the video, helps to push this show out to the algorithms and help the world see exactly what we got going on our essentially every weekly show. Go ahead and hit the notification bell so you know whenever we post on YouTube and you never miss a beat with what we got going on our show. And please be sure to share the show with everybody that you know so we can keep on building up this empire together. All with you and your support, we can make it so possible. And we appreciate your love, your support, your adoration, all of your well-being. Let me just make sure I got my stuff in correctly. I'm trying to make sure I can hear myself and hear you all. To make sure we okay. We good? Testing 1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay, yep, we good now. So there's a whole bunch to talk about today. I'm dead serious. Look, man, we don't got time to waste. There's a ton of topics of discussion. We talk about pound for pound talks. We talk about the reactions of where Shakur can go, where Teo's gonna go, what's next for each of these fighters. More specifically, will we see Shakur go through 140 completely? Who can stop this brother? That's the real concern. Who the world can stop this kid? Who can beat this insane a persona of perfection that is Shakur Stevenson at this point in time, and what has been and what was it is the best performance of Shakur's career ever to date. No doubt about that. I'm dead serious. So we got a lot to talk about. We got a bunch of stuff to discuss. So leave a like on the video. Like I already said, keep on subscribing, keep on sharing. If you want to support the channel, real quick shameless plug, Cash App and PayPal on the screen. Links down below in the description. Super chats, super gifts, and whatever else you would like to give in through YouTube. We would appreciate it so much to help support this channel and help to make it so we can keep on growing as a community together. But look, man, we got a whole bunch to discuss, and we're gonna earn our pay and earn our day. So let's jump into the world of boxing, shall we? We got sports to cover. We got boxing to talk about. We got Shakur's greatness to step into, and it is time to step into the ring. Oh, yes. Let's get it started. Ring the bell. Come on. Let's get it popping. Round 1 of this show going underway. And what else is there to discuss except for the insane fixture of complete desecration and domination by one Shakur Stevenson, who won, and not just won, completely blown out the water. Isn't even the right word. He could completely outclassed, outmatched, and outsmarted one of the most unique fighters of our time in Teofimo Lopez, and it wasn't even close. My goodness.
Hey, look at this. We got the problems here.
It wasn't close.
We got the problems here.
What type of world are we in? Because not to say that this wasn't a outcome that could happen. This is far from what I could see as a one-sided affair to this degree. Granted, I'll be the first one to say, like I always do, if I'm wrong, I was wrong. Some of y'all are clapping. I know some of y'all are cheering, but some people were just in the same boat as me. They thought Teo would be able to win. And I'm telling you this, I was dead wrong, dead to rights. It was not even after round 5 when there wasn't going to be any adjustments made. My gosh, it wasn't close. You could argue this was a 10-2, 11-1, or 12-0 type of win for Shakur. It was no way in the world, at least when you look back at that fight, that you would think that these two were on the same level. Lord, it almost felt like Teo shouldn't have even been in the ring with Shakur Stevenson. And we know the greatness that Teo is as a fighter. But let's delve into breaking down the fight and recapping what exactly happened in this whole affair. And we're going to give it a buck. It's really simple what took place. Buddy, the jab, the jab is what destroyed Teo. The jab won the day. The jab kept on winning the day. And the jab of Shakur continued to dominate the day all throughout the night. And there was no answer. There was no answer at all. None whatsoever. We got people in the chat already gloating and celebrating their victory. Shakur is the greatest. Hey, man, we've been talking about the hype of Shakur Stevenson being one of the greatest of all time. On paper, he has that trajectory to go and reach those limits. And he's looking like it, boy. He's looking like it. He is looking like it. He really is. He really is looking like a dominant fixture right now. Love King, that boy Shakur is something special. He went up he went up in weight and made a champion look like an amateur. Great performance. Absolutely, Love King. Credit to you. Thank you for tuning into the show. We appreciate you all that are here on the live. But he made him look mundane, regular. He made Teofimo Lopez look just like he made Kambosos look. Ridiculous, preposterous, unthinkable to the degree of that type of competition. We never thought on a good day that Teo will ever get forced to look like at all. The only time it looked that bad was when he fought against Kambosos, when it was, again, a bad day, the worst day for him. Everything was on it. There's no excuses for this win. Be clear. Again, we're going to break down the fight. But be clear. There's no excuses for this win. There's no other things to bring up about outside issues, situations behind the scenes, in-ring injuries or whatnot. There's none of that. None of that. Not for this fight. There is not a thing can be said for this fight except for Shakur is just that good of a brother. He's just that great. There's no semblance of use when it comes to saying that somebody is off their game, was laden with injuries, had something or other that caused this fight to go another way. You can't say that at all. Teo was prepped. He was ready. He was calm, cool, and collected. He was focused. He looked more matured. Everything looked like, okay, Teo's going to have to bring the best performance that he should bring, or the best performance that he needs to win this fight, because if he doesn't, he's going to lose. And he is in the mindset to bring that very performance. And he just couldn't do it. He couldn't get nothing going. And again, as we break down the fight right now, I told you the jabs were won today. That's what won today. The controlling jab of Shakur is leagues better than what I thought it was. And we knew that the distance control, the management, the ability to keep you at bay was something that is phenomenal for Shakur Stevenson. We thought, or at least I thought, that the speed of Teo would be something that could match and beat Shakur Stevenson in getting not just those 50-50 exchanges, but reacting and forcing Shakur to be like, ooh, this distance managing weapon, this controlling weapon, this all-powerful rod of mine that is the left hand or the right hand jab is not usable. It turned out it was the only thing that needed to be used in this fight. He cut up Teofimo Lopez. He bruised Teofimo Lopez. Both eyes were swollen, landing popping shots on him with thudding power. Crazy enough, was walking down Teo in the second half of the fight. Dare I say in the first half of the fight? He was walking him down. He was actively looking to stalk Teo. It was Teo that was on the back foot. It was Teofimo Lopez that was trying to box from the outside in. And every time Teo tried to lunge in with shots downstairs to the body, and we said body work was a valid reason to go, or a valid use of his skill sets to go and weighing down the body, weighing down the stamina, take some of the issues or some of the issues, some of the issues that Zepeda had or the designated cave, those few and far between, to Shakur and use that to your advantage. Overwhelm the guard and try to go and bang where stuff isn't moving, which is downstairs to the body. But he wasn't able to work. The reactions of Shakur and what we call that vertical defense of Shakur Stevenson when it comes to moving. He doesn't move side to side. He moves back and forth. But this brother is so adept at gauging distance and punch perception. He all night long, he was able to simply keep on backing up, jumping out the way, plodding forward, then jumping back away again, and then boom, shooting out that right jab that just was stinging Teo all night. Crazy that he was actually setting up some good thudding shots for Shakur Stevenson that Teo had no answer for. Tried to use the cross guard, tried to use head movement. He had some success with the head movement. I think around like 5 when he started to get comfortable with the jab. He did. And started getting the rhythm, started using that defensive instincts to get out of the way and looked like there might be some momentum growing, but then it fell right back down to earth and Teo just fell back into the same traps of getting caught consistently, getting time to counter. We thought that Teo would be the man that could counter the likes of Shakur. It was the other way around. Shakur kept countering Teo. He kept countering all night long. The brother kept on just popping him. Every round, every time you heard that bell, bang, bang, that's all you saw. That's all you saw, and that's all that could be done. And Teo had no answer at all to close the distance, to make this fight a fight that could turn into his favor. The adaptability of the water-like style that we've known Teo to have was essentially ineffective, not usable. Completely besmirched due to the overwhelming wall-like dominance that is Shakur Stevenson, because that's what this fight was, wall versus water. And but today, that wall stopped that water. It did. That wall stopped that water cold. Not a crack was found. Not a crease was able to be laden into. Nothing about Teo's game was able to do anything. He got to the point that he was just doing the same thing over again. Straight right downstairs to the body to try to land something and then doubling up with a hook upstairs. Nothing was effective. Even the only round that he was able to do anything with was round 8 when Shakur, crazy enough, was taking a round off to go into this fight. And in rounds 9 and 10, 11 and 12, he went right back on the fray of just being dominant. There was nothing that Teo could do. We've never seen Teo outclassed in this degree. This is different from Kambosos. This is different from Sandor Martin. This is different from Jermaine Ortiz. Well, we're going to talk about Jermaine Ortiz and Keyshawn Davis later on. This is different from all of those performances. Because this was Kambosos was an exciting fight that Teo, even though he lost, he made it close by fighting his way back from that knockdown. Sandor Martin was a fight that even with him getting caught with that outboxing style, he was still able to land offensively enough that you can make an argument. Hey, that's why he won that fight. I think he lost that fight, but he was still, you can need a closer ability to see a outcome for him. Jermaine Ortiz, I felt he won that fight, even though he struggled minorly against the moving style. But still, arguments that he can win. There's nothing you can say for this win for Shakur against Teo. That is, Teo could have found a way. Teo was moving forward or was throwing in volume. None of that is applicable because he was outpointed. He was outdamaged. Shakur threw less than him by about 100 and still landed 44%. Teofimo Lopez was held to 13% landed punches on the night, and the brother threw almost 500. Understand, one of the best look at this from the perspective. Look at this from the bigger context of why that is so absurd. One of the best and most damaging offensive fighters and volume punches that we have in the sport of boxing today, with stamina to boot and an array of moves that can go through and can be applicable for a bunch of situations to make it so his offense is undeniable and unstoppable. He was held to 13% landed. The same percentage we've seen Shakur handle Oscar Valdez. The same percentage we've seen Shakur handle Yoshino. The same percentage we've seen Shakur Stevenson hold the likes of even Jamal Herring, Artem Aratunian, Josh Padley, one of the worst offensive performances was not performed by Teofimo Lopez. It was forced on Teofimo Lopez by Shakur Stevenson. Shakur made Teo obsolete. And Teo was actively trying what he could do. Specifically what he could do. Because understand, it ain't just the fact that Teo lost. Because we're going to touch on Teo. It's the fact that knowing the ability and mind of Teofimo Lopez. Also, real quick, I forgot to say hi to Albuga. Albuga, how you doing? Good to see you. I thought I had already said something. If I didn't, appreciate you joining in on the show. We're so happy that you're here with us on today. Thank you so much for tuning in. And please keep on sharing the show. But when Teo got made to look foolish, I don't say that in a derogatory way. I'm saying that for the dominance that he incurred. And Teo couldn't think his way out of this. Now again, I'm going to touch when we touched on the specifics of Teofimo Lopez revolving up after this fight. I'm going to say why that's important. But strictly with Shakur, nobody's forced this man to do this or to beat like this in a way that is this essentially brazen. And he was forcing Teo back, like I said earlier. That's significant because we didn't think that he was going to compete with the power of somebody that at 135 was a killer. At 140, everybody still says he has pop, even though his knockouts aren't the same high rate that it used to be. He still was an incredibly dangerous threat that Shakur knew, especially with his style and the build that we know Teo is as an athletic fighter with the capabilities above the likes of De Los Santos to go and say, yeah, I'm going to go and put you on the back foot, walk you into a bad position and put pressure on you as me being Shakur. Insanity. Truly. And when we come to Shakur Stevenson, buddy, this cat is ridiculous. More than ridiculous. Let's start after this type of performance. I'm almost at a loss for words because of how incredible this is. After this type of performance, we now have to look at him in a brand new way. We do. As we go into the next round of this show, hey, buddy, we got to talk about pound for pound, don't we? We do. And this buddy, he's top 5. He's top 5. He is top 5. He's top 5 in the world. He's top 5 in the world. Shakur Stevenson, after this performance, is top 5 in the world. And again, we're going to be talking about Shakur and then Teo. Where to go, what we look at them as after this fight and all this stuff. Starting with Shakur Stevenson. Shakur is top 5 fighter in the world. For me, it's Inoue, Usyk, was it? Well, in fact, let me pull up my list real quick. Let me pull up my pound for pound list so I can make sure I can edit this thing properly. Because Teo was number 8 in the world on my pound for pound when it came to looking at the structure of the landscape of boxing and having everybody on their respective pedestal. It was. Let me see. Hold on. I'm pulling it up now so I can read it out properly. Because Lord knows we do not want y'all coming back at me and saying, "Oh, wait a minute, this cat doesn't know what he's talking about. This cat don't know what he's doing. This dude is out of his mind." When it comes to the pound for pound rankings of the boxing regime, I believe I had it number 1. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Number one was Inoue. Number 2 was Usyk for me. Number 3 was Ben Rodriguez, with Crawford retired. Number 4 was Dimitri Bivol. Number 5 was Dave Benavidez. With this being done by Shakur Stevenson, he's top 5. He's top 5, and if I'm being completely honest, I'm bumping. Not even complete. No. I shouldn't even say that. Like I'm ashamed. He's in the top 5, and he ain't 5. He's 4. He's 4. I'm moving Bivol down to 6, and I'm moving Shakur at 4. That's how great this type of performance was. See, we got to see the best execution of the style that we know Shakur can fight in at its best, with still some latent confidence and willingness to go and do some damage like we saw against Cepeda. It wasn't just, throwing haymakers left, right, and center, but he was indeed putting some heat on his shots willingly when he got comfortable and when he was looking to be, in full control. I got you where I want you now. I can do whatever I want. He wasn't just being so safe, though he was still, again, boxing safely, like Shakur always does. A little bit of Cepeda that was in there. A little bit of aggression. A little bit of willingness to go and say, okay, I'm going to put, not just amplify the pressure, I'm going to put pause and trust my hands. And his hands are healthy now. That's the biggest reason why I was able to do this, because his hands are healthy. This brother's number 4 in the world, in my opinion. He is. He's number 4 in the world. He deserves it. He deserves it. He absolutely deserves it. We are looking at a man who is viable to, from this point on, we dare say the boxing game is his to rule, or at least it's his to be able to gain the foothold that he's been asking for as a dominant, reigning champion that across divisions is seen as untouchable. This is the type of greatness that is a career-defining win, more than just the immediate of legacy that is garnered to you. It is a defining win that causes you to be seen in the public eye as valid of all the talk of the best technician in the game, the best strictly technical fighter, pugilistic fighter that we got in the sport right now. His mind has now been validated and solidified in the public eye as one of the smartest boxers in this game. His talent level is getting compared to some other greats that we've had in boxing history, like stinking Andre Ward even. And rightfully so. We're seeing a level of understanding that is rare in the world of boxing. People are calling him the continuation of what Floyd Mayweather was when he left this sport again, if his hands are healthy, potentially the old Mayweather, the one that was actually going and putting people out or walking people down. And with the frame that Shakur has, with the size that Shakur has, with the skill that Shakur has, when looking at him as a fighter, when looking at him as a boxer, as a contending figure beyond just 140, especially in 140 right now. He's got everything to be, pound for pound, top 3 and number 1. He's on that scale. He's on that scale. He is. He's on that scale. He's that great. His greatness is being unraveled. Not in a way that is losing control, but in a way that is letting the world see beyond just the boring stigma. And I hope you wouldn't call that fight a boring fight. That wasn't a boring fight. I'm telling you that right now. That was not a boring fight. If you think that fight was boring, I don't know what to tell you. Yes, it ended in a knockout. Yes, it wasn't the same thing as Shushu Carrington putting out the likes of his championship challenger to go and take the belts and become a champion for the first time, which again we're going to discuss. But he did not fight in a manner that was just putting you to sleep. He was catching them with stinging shots. And again, those bee stings of punches, like I said, is going to make Teo swell up on his eyes, cut up, bruised, all that stuff. We saw it at the night. Shakur was even saying, in fact, I'll play a clip of what Shakur was saying about that fight. And he was saying that he respects Teofimo Lopez. But it could have gotten bad. And I agree with him. It could have gotten bad. It could have gotten really bad. I dare say if Teo, at the point in time in which we had seen Shakur have the control that he had, if Teo had gone through and tried to really put pedal to the metal, there is a real possibility that we could have seen Shakur get a KO. And I'll let him say it for yourself. I'll let him say it for himself after we delve into the world of picture-in-picture and let you witness the words of the winner and newfound pound-for-pound star in Shakur Stevenson. Here you go right now. Let me just turn this thing up and make sure y'all can hear. And we good to go. Yep, we good to go.
But T.O., he fought to not get stopped, so respect to him.
Wait, so respect to for fighting to not get stopped?
I mean, he could have got stopped in there. It was almost over at a couple of times. Like,
isn't that more respect, maybe? If you
I mean, he's a tough fighter.
Yeah.
He got power too, speed too. But T.O., he
And
fought.
so, it was, there was a point in time. Go back and rewatch that fight. There was a point in time especially in this later stage when Shakur got uber confident. Though he was still being disciplined. Shakur, for more than 3 rounds, put his feet down on his shots. That jab hurt more. Not just because he incurred damage, but because Shakur was fully torquing his body to land on Teofimo Lopez because he knew there was nothing he could do. Now he could say, okay, we can open up now. We saw Shakur open up, and it was for good reason because he was seeing there's an option here that I could get a KO. And we saw Teo, not going to say make a business decision, but understand that he's getting popped and that these shots are starting to get a little bit more heavy. I'm taking some damage. Now I'm like, okay, I got to respect this cat in a way that I didn't think I needed you going into this fight from the standpoint of damage and power. He made sure the same way that we saw Teofimo Lopez make Lomachenko think about what he was doing when he was trying to be offensive and go and do damage against Teofimo Lopez to turn that fight around and to make it one of the best fights. So what was it, 2020? I think it was 2020. That's exactly what Shakur did to Teo. He nullified the offense by dissuading the offense. He made Hold on. Hold on. We back? We good? Hello? We good? Okay, we good. Okay, just had I ain't gotten scared for a second. I was horrified that we were gonna get off the thing. I'm just trying to make a quick post to make sure y'all can see what's going on in the show. I had to send out a blast like we always do as we live on the stream to make it so that people can see what we got going on. But even still, we saw Shakur make the same thing that we said that Teo needed to do to make Shakur not be able to punch and not be able to box. Buddy, he made Teo do that same thing. Hesitate, think, do damage. You got something more than I expected. You got the makings of a posture of a boxer that I can't just go and do what I want to do against. This is ridiculous. This was insane. This brother is pound for pound top 5 in the world. And after this performance, with the activity, with the now being a 4-division champion, with the now being also lineal and the Ring Magazine champ, he's beating Teofimo Lopez, who I felt was is indeed an incredibly hard out in the way that he beat him. We said in lieu of the preview of this fight, depending on how dominant each fighter is with this type of star versus star type affair, would dictate how high up or down they would go on the pound for pound list when they win this fight. And at minimum, Shakur was going to be 8th because Teo was ranked 8th on my own standings. With this win, not just does it knock Teo arguably out of the pound for pound, but it elevates Shakur up to top 4. He does. Top 5 at minimum, top 4 definitive. And he's my 4th best fighter in the world right now. He is. He was that much of a great. He was that great. He was that great. He is that great. Not to say was. He is that great. Mike, he's only 28 years old. Floyd was 29 when he became world champion 4th time. In a way, he's 30 when he became 4th champion. This cat is, Shakur is at the edge of his prime. Not in it. He's at the edge of it. He is getting into it. He is just now walking into the best 4 or 5 streak of years that he can stretch out in his career. As we know, normally it's between 27 and 28 is the start of somebody's prime. And in 32, roughly 33, is about the end of their prime. When it comes to the physical ability that you can have when everything matches up and you are at the peak of your powers athletically. Normally it's about a 4 or 5 year span that you hit a groove. You hit a groove. That is just everything comes together. He's right there. And he is already this accomplished. It is ridiculous. It is insane. And this man is the truth. He's the truth. And he proved the world. Let me see. I got Shakur and Usyk, my top 2 pound for pound. Oh man, you elevated him that high. I get it. Like I get it. I get it. You got Shakur and Usyk as your top 2 pound for pound. Knocking down Inoue or Bam to number 3, depending on if that's who you have as 3, depending on how you have your pound for pound list. But I mean, the only reason why he is not higher is because of the career that he's had is just not as flushed out as some of those other boxers like Inoue, Usyk, and though he's only 24 years old, Bam Rodriguez, from the standpoint of those 3 have done so much insane stuff in such a short time. Or over the course of their whole career, like with Usyk, making history, 2-time undisputed, being the best heavyweight in the world, beating Tyson Fury, being undisputed at cruiserweight and heavyweight, going through and being undefeated. Also, having been one of the most dominant in both weight classes and the defining era, not just in one division, but transcending this whole dichotomy of this current landscape in boxing sports. In a way, going through 4-division champion, same thing, but 2-time undisputed champion, the second person. After Terrence Crawford, he did it in a year to become the second man to ever become a 4-division undisputed champion 2 times in a row in the 4-belt era, going through and decimating legends all throughout his wake, having 25 plus title defenses, not just with one of the highest knockout ratios, but going up against top 1 to top 5 people, cleaning out 1 through 5 4 separate times in a quick succession. Like, that's ridiculous. Bam Rodriguez going through the run that he's going through right now, multi-division champion, lineal, unified, going back to be undisputed, and getting ready to go and dominate 115, looking to move up to 118. Dare I say, no, I'm sorry, not 115. Looking to go and move up to 122 really quick and get a fight with Nakatani, hypothetically, as the next outcome, or with Inoue, whoever world wins that mega fight with Inoue versus Nakatani. And he's been insane, and his pedigree and skill set, like all 3 of them, are incredible. All 3 of them got arguments for that. And now Shakur is the 4th, and he deserves to be in that conversation. His skill set is amongst the best in the land. There's a reason why this guy is so unstoppable. It is because he is such an elevated IQ and boxing talent. It rivals any of the best that we can see. It does. At this current point in time right now. It truly is an understanding of the sport that is rivaled like no other. Also, Ryan Graves, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. Hopefully you're leaving a like on the stream. Hopefully you're sharing the show. And hopefully you're enjoying everything that we got going on our live stream, because it is indeed an incredible affair. We love it. We appreciate it. And please, liking the stream helps to push this out to the algorithms and help the world to see exactly what we got going on, and helps everybody to witness and enjoy the hottest show in all the globe, right here on YouTube and on every podcasting platform imaginable. Absolutely no question about it. We appreciate all of you being here. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day. Hopefully you're enjoying your Tuesday afternoon. Again, shameless plug. If you can't support the show, we got Cash App, PayPal, links down below in the description. Super chat and super gifts if you would like to have something to say. We want to hear from you in all regards. No question about it. And hey, keep on joining me on the show. Keep on adding your voice to the conversation. We got a whole bunch to discuss on this show because of what we just saw. And my God, my goodness. My gosh, this is great. It's incredible. But let me see. Ryan Graves, you say sad week for boxing. I don't know why it's a sad week. Though, again, my pick was wrong. This ain't sad. This is great. We just got to see a new found big-time story. See, this type of win is what's going to put Shakur in that same, or at least around that same talking pedestal that we've talked about with Tank. I'm not saying it doesn't put him at the same zenith, but this win in particular against one of the more brazen stars in the world of boxing, where everybody in New York City and beyond was prepared to watch this fight to see what was going to be the outcome. They now all have an answer okay, this cat is something to behold. This cat is something different. This man is something that we might have to pay to see, regardless of whether we say he's boring or not, because he's bringing something that we ain't seen for a lot of people since Floyd Mayweather. I'm being real. That's the comparison. He's getting compared to Floyd. That type of dominance went from a defensive acumen, and the very thing that everybody, because of Floyd, driving the tenure of this is what boxing should look like. Everybody will follow suit. There's still a whole bunch of people that still want to see that. And Shakur is that. Dare I say, in a bigger frame, or in as big of a frame that can elevate beyond the limits of what we saw Floyd do. I'm dead serious. There is a real propensity that when we talk about the greatness of Shakur Stevenson after this win, we don't see this cat get beat up until he gets up to 154. In terms of initially challenged, we don't see him get challenged up until he gets up to 154. I'm so serious. There is a real argument. We don't see this cat challenged up until we get to 154. And this is a great point to go and pivot into a new conversation when it comes to the world of boxing. And when it comes to this very show, who can beat Shakur? With what we see right now, who the world can beat this cat? Who can beat him? Who can beat him?
We got some problems here.
Who in the world can beat him? Who in this boxing community of the talent that we know is laden and abundant with stars, who can beat him? And I'll give you my answer right now, and I want to hear your thoughts on what you got to say. Buddy, the only person that can beat him, in my opinion, is somebody at 154. Or Devin Haney. That's it. That is it. If Teo wasn't able to beat him the way that he did, buddy, I don't know who else can. In terms of between 140 and 154, because that's really the limit. We know Shakur can get up there, especially now. If you can handle Teo, you can definitely handle the big dogs at 154. The power is going to be elevated, but your ability to belong there is going to be absolutely abundant. Absolutely abundant. But who can beat him? I don't know anybody around these divisions that can beat this cat except for those at 154 and beyond. 160, I dare say, if he gets through 154, might be the actual limit. We'll see this cat get pushed to a point where, okay, it might be we're going to see some chest and challenges. It might be. Yeah, but outside of that, I don't see a soul except for Devin Haney at 140, 147, and at 154, before getting to 154, that I think that can beat him. I just don't. He's that great. He's that much clear cut ahead of everybody else. Because I guarantee you, the most people that you would say can have a chance at Shakur Stevenson would have or could have gotten beat by Teo. Or would have struggled against Teo. A lot of people that we would say, oh, they could give Shakur a test, would have struggled against Teofimo Lopez. And that's because Teo is a great fighter. Buddy, if anybody, this is a type of distance between him and everybody else that is just, it looks almost insurmountable. Between the current division and 147, it looks almost insurmountable beyond Devin Haney. Anybody can stop this kid. Let alone beat him, make it close. I don't know. I just don't know. But let me see what you all got to say. Ryan Graves, the worst Teo I've ever seen against anyone on my second watch. He didn't take any chances. Stood in front of Shakur all night. Didn't take advantage of Shakur being on the ropes. Didn't go to the body early. Well, no, he did try to go to the body early. He just couldn't land it. The jumping back of Shakur was so on point, like it always is. You couldn't do anything with him. Like you just couldn't. Again, Teo was trying to make this an offensive affair that he could take advantage of the early rounds, try to go and be more voluminous. He started out a lot quicker than I thought he was going to from what we had seen from the sparring footage when they fought against each other. And he lost those early rounds, and it was like, okay, I got to make something happen. And it wasn't that he wasn't trying to make adjustments for himself. Shakur was just able to stop everything. He was able to stop everything. To the point where there was only one real course of action, the straight right downstairs to the body that was even a viable fixture to make something land. And that was rendered null and void as well. And so Teo it wasn't that Teo was bad. Teo got made to look bad. Teo got shut down. There's a difference in you looking bad and performing bad and getting shut down. He got beat. Not that he just lost the fight. He got beat. That's a different type of dominance, and that's what we saw, at least from what I saw. Watching the fight, looking at all the angles, but there was nothing that he could do. There was nothing that he could do, no matter what he tried. There was nothing, no angles, no off, none of it. Shakur shut everything down, which was to say, Shakur versus Devin Haney, who wins? That's the only other matchup I can see. That's the only match, and I don't know. I don't know. Again, I lead to, and I think you asked me this on the live stream, and appreciate all of you who tuned in on the live stream. Thank you all who came in and supported the live stream. It was a blast. We had a time. It was so much fun. And if you haven't been on one of our live streams already, trust me, it is a time and a half to be a part of it. It is so much fun and enjoyable. Come on through next time. You have a live, big time fight. And if we're streaming, you don't want to miss what we got going on. Great conversation, great debate, great outlooks. Look, you want excitement. I'll give you HBO level pumping circumstance when it comes to previewing all the fights on the card, so you feel all ready, revved up and ready to go when the fight actually comes through. We give you the best play-by-play, punch-by-punch, round-by-round dissection and calling of the fight that you can ever find on any platform, regardless of where you're watching. So you're going to want to stick around for us, because we got a whole bunch of stuff in store. But yeah, I would, by the skin of my teeth, have Devin Haney winning. That's only because Devin Haney and that length coupled with that elite jab can actually contend with Shakur. I've said this multiple times. I think Shakur is a better boxer than Devin Haney. I do. I also believe that Devin Haney at 147 is a bigger fighter and is one of the better athletically gifted specimens that we have in boxing today. Not just because he knocked down Brian O'Malley Jr. We've seen him every time he gets up in weight. He looks even better. This against Shakur is going to be very interesting to see him and Devin Haney. But I would lean slightly because Devin Haney may be able to win that javelin battle with jab versus jab with Shakur. But even then, if you want to talk about an unpredictable fight, that's one of them. That's definitely one of them. I don't know. I can only say I can lean. I can't concretely say one way or the other. Because I'll tell you this right now. Me picking against Shakur Stevenson, it's not something I want to do again. After what we saw against Teo, me picking against Shakur before 154 is something I don't want to do again. It's something I don't want to do again. Raymond Murtala can beat Shakur Stevenson. He's a great test. I don't think he can beat him. He's a phenomenal test to have against him. I don't think he can beat him. This Shakur, I don't know if he can beat that. I don't know. Because what Murtala doing what he did against Andy Cruz showed just how good that he is. But again, you have to be better than Teo to have a shot at winning against Shakur. Is Raymond Murtala better than Teo in your eyes? He was never better than that for me. So I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not doing triangle theory. I'm saying like as a fighter, he's what's not better than Teofimo Lopez. Beating Andy Cruz showed that we underestimated his skill set, but it didn't elevate him above that threshold that we would need to have to beat the likes of Shakur Stevenson. And even Teo, being Teo, wasn't able to beat him. So you got to be better than that. Like, Teo level of skill set is not enough to beat Shakur. Just the great physicality is not enough to beat Shakur Stevenson. You got to have something above and beyond the globe. And as much as I love Raymond Murtala, he does not have that. It's a great fight that I would love to see, but beating him, I don't think he can beat him. I don't think he can beat him. Let me see, Keyshawn versus Teo. In terms of, as a next fight, I would love to see it. Now, that's a great matchup to have against. Teo versus Keyshawn Davis at 140. Keyshawn Davis beating Jermaine Ortiz, knocking him out in a great dominant display in his comeback fight, which was incredible. And again, real quick, I'm gonna delve into this a little bit more because we're gonna touch on Keyshawn Davis in a little bit right after this. But That wouldn't be a bad matchup. That would be a great warring of fights. Shoot, we can even bring up but Paulie Malignaggi, though I don't like him as a pundit as much as many others. I respect him. And he bring up something that would be a decent comeback fight for Teo, would be Teo versus Kambosos in a rematch of what happened in the loss. Get your win back. Fight, everybody would say, okay, there's some bad blood there, some tension. Knowing there's going to be a lot of trash talk, it'll probably sell decently well. Could happen over in Kambosos' hometown again. And you get your win back, everything's all hunky-dory, and you're able to go and get back into the competitive ranks like you want to at 140. You can't. Not saying he left because of it, but it could happen. Well, however, we've also got some news from the likes of Teofimo Lopez that he is already made a decision on where he's going to go, what he's going to do, and as you can see per the perception of picture-in-picture, he's on his way to welterweight. Yes, indeed. Oh, boy. Oh, my. Oh, my.
We got the problems.
As you can see, Teofimo Lopez, again, with the swelling eyes and the cuts that he had from his fight, valiant effort, but still in a losing effort, has now stated on his own social media, off to the welterweight division. So he's officially moving up to 147 with the Brian Owen Jr.'s, with the Devin Haney's of the division, now looking to stamp his claim in a new territory. Now, whether or not can he probably dominate up there with the more less laden talent at the top level. Again, Devin Haney, Brian Owen Jr., sure, but when it comes to everybody else, it's not really as deep of a division as when it was Spence, Sean Porter, Terrence Crawford, Kell Brook, and all those other fighters at 147 at welterweight. It's a division for him to, okay, he can get a belt back, he can go and still be dominant, he can go through, and at that division, look to gain some more momentum. There's a lot of winnable fights up there that can get him to a big-time fight with Devin Haney, which, hey, if that's the case, Devin Haney said that Teo and Shakur, they're on my hit list. Was it Shakur and Teo, or was it Shakur and Keyshawn Davis? One of the two, if not all three, were on Bill Haney's and Devin Haney's hit list. So we can see if that takes place. But apparently, 140 is out the question for Teo, and 147 is looking like the thing that's going to take place for the takeover. Teofimo Lopez looking to take over a new regime of talent in the world of boxing as he elevates his weight class and career. We got a lot of people coming through. Coyote, what's going on with you? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. We're so happy that you're here with us on today. Ryan could KO Shakur on the right night. I mean, yeah, sure. He's got enough speed. We won't go for a speed perspective. Yes, that could happen. It's most likely unlikely because Ryan Garcia is not nearly the technician. And I'm going to say this that surprised me. Shakur and his speed are a whole lot better than I thought. Going into this fight, I said routinely, I said constantly, I said fervently, Teo is faster than Shakur Stevenson. Teo's got faster hand speed than Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson, when you watch him punch, it doesn't really come out and shock you per se. You can see it coming. It's a very two-piece combos or his normal routine or the jab. The jab is fast, absolutely, but everything else about him is more so laden with timing and understanding of the ring and boxing as a science. Absolutely. It's not a knock. That's what I perceive just with his physical makeup. Shakur is a whole lot faster than I give him credit for. It's insane. It's ridiculous. It's preposterous. The level of physical capabilities that we've seen. And mind you, I think I said this about Shakur, just like I said this about Boots. There's a real inkling that the bigger that Shakur gets in his weight classes, as he rolls through the divisions of boxing, he's going to unlock better aspects of his physical game. I'm not saying that just a cliche. I'm saying that for Shakur, it has been a proven thing. And right now, it's one of the best things that we got from the standpoint of the elevated level of Shakur Stevenson. But there was no reason why he should have been faster than Teofimo Lopez. He just, this 140 weight class and beyond, buddy, he showed, I'm a dog. I'm sharp and I'm quick. Raw hand speed, yeah, I got it. Instantaneous reactions, I got it. Some of those jabs that he was countering Teo with, I was like, oh, shoot. The time at which you got to actually land that shot is so minuscule of a window, especially with somebody as elusive as T.O. can be, and you were just peppering him. You were punching to the point that T.O. could not read the jab. Even better, T.O. at one point in time, like I said earlier in the show, he adapted to the jab, and still Shakur made him unadapt. He started slipping the jab. He started getting out the way, timing it, and then by the next round or 2 rounds later, he was back to getting hit over and over. He couldn't read it. He couldn't see it coming. He couldn't react and anticipate to it. That's some serious level of speed. So Ryan Garcia may not be, though he's got the fastest hand in boxing, no question, with that type of talent, that type of physicality. And yes, sure, Ryan Garcia is bigger, but let Shakur get up there first. Let's see what Ryan Garcia can do against Barrios second. And then we can have a better conversation. I'm telling you this right now. I don't know if Ryan Garcia wants to fight against that. I don't know. I don't know if he wants to fight against that, even with his own physical capabilities. Because that's a bad man. That's a bad man. That is an insane man. Let me see. Teddy Berkshire, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show with us on today. So happy to be with you on this Tuesday afternoon. It's still cold down here, down south. We still got snow on the ground. This is as long as we've ever had snow for a hot minute. I love the winter wonderland aesthetic. And we just need some more hot chocolate. That's what I need. And then we can get it. I'll be happy as a clam. But I still want to read what you all's reactions are. And please keep on liking the stream and keep on sharing the show. Come on, get the likes up. Tell the people what we got going on. Tell everybody that you know this is the hottest show in all the globe. And they don't want to miss this conversation. We having some such good rhetoric, such good debate, such good insight from you all, and it's making for great talking points. We appreciate this, and we love you all being here, no question about it. But let me see. Teddy Berkshire, yes, I called the KO, but wasn't close. Like I said, you were right, man. I was wrong. Y'all were right. I never downplayed anybody in the reference of how this fight was going to go. I understood the talent that was in this ring. I got the winner wrong, and I thought it was going to be T.O. by split decision. It was Shakur by unanimous. You could argue, again, it was 11-1 or 10-2 or even go as far as 12-0 for the standpoint of what rounds that T.O. won, which was at most 1 or 2. It was a one-sided affair, likes of which I did not expect because of what was on paper it's supposed to be and what they had shown in the past as a very close fight. It's insane. This is the greatness of Shakur Stevenson. It is. It truly is. Man, you called it. It wasn't close. If he really tried hard to knock him out, he would have. I said that same thing. And more so, again, Shakur's not going to get out of his element. But like if you were here earlier, I had touched on that, and I had said if T.O. had really gotten reckless, Shakur said in an interview with Mike Coventry that I played earlier today, he could have gotten knocked out. He fought to not get knocked out because he got hurt a couple times, and it could have been bad. It could have been bad, and it could have been bad. It could have. There was some point if with the amount of damage and the elevated power that we saw Shakur bring in later on in the fight from rounds like 8 on, or after rounds like 8 and on, when he started knocking T.O.'s head back for real, really sitting down on some of those shots. Yeah, he could have gotten him out of there. He could have. He really could have. And this is and again, quick side note, and I see other people chatting and commenting. Quick side note, I'm about to read the rest of your chats, but I've been saying this about Shakur when it came to one of the things I had that I hated about him was that he wouldn't use all of the tools in his tool belt when he was boxing. Now he's doing it, and you're getting people seeing, oh, wait a minute, he could have gotten him out of there. He could have gotten a knockout. He's capable of being not just a surgical fighter, but a more destructive fighter than anybody may have imagined. But I just needed for him to go and use that bag that he's got to be willing to throw with purpose. Instead of just throwing to win the night, throw shots that you want to end the night with conviction, with some fervor, and with some fire. Not because you're trying to get reckless, but because you mean it when you throw. You're committed to saying, I know I'm not just going to score. I'm going to take the respect out of your game and the confidence out of you by doing some shots that can land some real damage and showing you you're not on my level in every regard beyond just being able to be untouchable. And now we're seeing that come to fruition against one of the best offensive fighters that we got in the game. This is the type of rhetoric and this is the type of talent that I want to see Shakur be talked about in, and now we're getting it. We're getting it. We're getting it, and I love it. I love it. This is beautiful. It's beautiful. Let me see. Welch, I'm telling you, Shakur's not on the level you think he's on, even though he just beat the worst version of Tio I've ever seen. And look, if that's your opinion, that's your opinion. Now, you did say that Tio was an A-minus level fighter, and you had others below Tio from the rankings. This isn't calling out and trying to make you looking kind of way. I'm saying that you and other people, and myself included, looked at Tio as a real lion and threat, especially a Tio that looked focused. And so him beating this type of Tio, who, mind you, everybody is not beating an on-game Tio. This is something that is ridiculous from the standpoint of Shakur Stevenson and his ability. And so, like, if I'm wrong about this hype, so be it. But we just got some substance that showed me, hey man, we're looking at the same cat that we can say after this loss, outside of maybe Devin Haney, Tio could become a champion again and run 147 with the way that it's laden up right now. And we're saying that Shakur, if he moves up, it's going to be his division to rule outright. And I'm saying that ain't nobody at 147 outside of Devin Haney beating this cat, and nobody at 140 touching this brother. Like, it's insane in a good way, because this performance proved the level that we thought Shakur was at. It proved it. This is with a fighter that was tested, accolades to boot, a widely accepted high level of skill that, mind you, was able to beat the best fighter in the world, Lomachenko, when it was thought to be that you were outclassed and outmatched. 2 pound-for-pound top 10 fighters he's beaten, and has been one of the more versatile fighters that we've had throughout the whole of this sport. This was a win that garnered the respect of, we had to put some real fire under Shakur's name, because he earned it. He deserved it. And tell you, look, we're going to put the respect on your name too. Anybody that picked Shakur, we're going to put respect on you. Like I said, I'm wrong. I was absolutely wrong. No question about it. And also, no question about it. Let me see. Also, second watch, I gave Tio 3 rounds instead of 2. Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Even it was still a wide margin. But 3 rounds, 2 rounds, or 1 round, all of which are applicable. He just didn't win any more than that, because it was it was insane. It was legitimately. It was insane. Let me see, Teddy Berkshire, you say Shakur is a generational talent. He is. He is looking like one of the best of, again, when we talk about this next generation, amongst this 4 or 5 year transition, when we have Usyk going out the door, Fury going out the door, Canelo going out the door, Crawford going out the door, most of the greats going out the door, this is the time for the new hierarchy of regime in the world of boxing to start taking hold as to who's going to be the new it guy that the standard of this sport is going to be tested against. Shakur's looking like he's going to be one of them. He's looking like he's going to be one of them. Absolutely. Legendary Super Saiyan. Yo, Super Saiyan. Brother, what's going on with that? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. We're so happy that you're with us on today, and we want to see what you got to say. Let me see. Would take a special fighter to beat Shakur. You can fight a Shakur and have you can fight a Shakur and have any glaring technical flaws. You can't fight Shakur and have any glaring technical flaws, or it's over. Yeah, you can even seem like you don't have any flaws, and still you're going to be able to get beat. There's a level of tactical ability, or you got to be one of the best aggressive fighters that we got in the world. One of those two. Either you can think on Shakur's level, or you got an offense that is truly unstoppable. That you can't, that there is no just jabbing you and keeping you off. A generational type of skill set in that frame. If it ain't that, most likely you're going to be put out the pasture. He's looking, when we say untouchable, we're saying that because he has separated himself from the skill sets of even the best around him across multiple divisions. When I told you all that the ripple effects of this fight were going to be felt throughout the whole of boxing, I was not just trying to hype up this fight. The winner of this fight was going to be seen most likely in a vein that had him going through the rest of other divisions with no problem. And depending on how bad you won, it was going to be who indeed is actually a real threat to this guy, or is it a foregone conclusion? Whatever he touches is going to be gold. And right now with Shakur, it's that end of the spectrum. You can call him out and say he's this out of the third, buddy. Most people that are calling Shakur out, they're not going to beat him. Most people that are going to call Shakur out, they're not going to beat him. It's going to take a special type of guy. And it's difficult, man. It's difficult, man. Also, Truth, what's going on with you? How you doing? Truth, good to see you. Thank you for tuning in to the show. So happy that you're here with us on today. Keep on liking the stream. Keep on sharing the show. Keep on telling everybody what we got going on. And keep on giving your thoughts and opinions and your support. It means the world to me. And also helps to make sure this show is able to be so special. Absolutely. And so I'm also trying to make sure everything is working on stream like it needs to. What's good with you all? How you doing? After how we did Jamal Herring, I knew he had it. He is special. Yeah, man, like Jamal was the start, and now this is the crescendo. This is the crescendo. Absolutely. Also, Shoo, the Truth. We about to touch on Shoo. In fact, let me real quick say what I need to say about Teofimo Lopez, and then we're gonna touch on Shoo Carrington, Keyshawn Davis. Go back to the conversation about who can beat Shakur real quick, but we do want to make sure we can touch on the other fights that happened over the weekend. There was a lot of stuff. Buckwan got beat by Josh Kelly. We had Shoo win a title. We had Keyshawn Davis come back and dominate and knock out Ortiz. We had Zayas beat Abreu. And what looked like to be, I believe it was a majority decision. It's a lot of stuff in the landscape of sports that we got to delve into and talk about. But real quick, let's touch on the other aspects of the world of boxing that happened on today, like with Keyshawn Davis versus. No, I'm sorry. Excuse me. I'm thinking too much. Let me touch on Shakur. Let me touch on Teo. Then Keyshawn Davis. Then Shoo Carrington. And then we'll go into the championship rounds where we delve into the rest of the world of boxing as we know it. But let's touch on Teo first and foremost, as the second half of kind of this whole fight stuff. We're giving Shakur all the praise that he's due, and he is due a whole bunch of praise. Now when it comes to Teofimo Lopez, Teo is at a real crossroads of personnel. What do I mean? This brother got beat. Again, there's no shame in getting beat by Shakur. We get it. This cat's a dog. He's different. He just showed he's different. No shame in that. All respect to putting up a fight. And you didn't give up. Like Shakur said in his interview with Mike Coventry. Yeah, he didn't quit. I respect him. He was trying to get knocked out, but yeah, I respect him at the talent. He still got some great skills. Acknowledged it. No issue there. But when we're looking at Teo going forward, hey man, you got some issues personally, or rather issues with your personnel, more specifically your trainer. Buddy, your trainer is giving you nothing. Your dad has got to go. Your dad, Teofimo Lopez, or Lopez Sr., excuse me, he's got to go. He's got to go. He was of no help at all to the corner, to the psyche, and to the game plan of Teofimo Lopez. Remember, I had said earlier when talking about Shakur Stevenson that it wasn't just that, or Teo was doing everything that he could do. He was trying to make a game plan to go and make this fight turn around in his favor. And he was thinking. He was trying to make something. Absolutely. It just wasn't working. But he was the only one that was thinking in the ring. Because his dad was doing squat. His dad wasn't doing it. His pops wasn't doing a doggone thing. His dad failed him as a trainer. His father failed him as a game plan manager. His father failed him as a help to go and turn this fight around in some way that could make Teo have a chance to make this fight into a actual winnable affair. This was complete and utter nonsense. He was going in the corner talking about, where's your power? Where's your power that you're supposed to have? Huh? You gotta hit him. Well, with what? What do I need to do? What do I need to try to set up? What is he doing that I'm not recognizing that I can go and adapt to? What is a trap I can set for him? What trap is he setting for me? What's his tendencies that you're seeing? What am I doing that I'm right on the cusp of a successful game plan, but it's just not effective because I'm missing this one step? What do I need to change? Do I need to switch stances? Do I need to go to southpaw? Do I need to try to jab with it more fervently? Do I need to stop lunging to the body and more so punch and keep on stepping rather than backing up after every shot that I throw in combination? What do I need to do? And Lopez Sr. did not a doggone thing in that corner. And even worse than that, the body got the nerve to come through and throw his own son under the bus when it came to the game plan that he said, oh, he just didn't follow. And I'm going to let you see these words, and I'm going to tell you this right now. I do not agree coming from the jump.
Percent sure who's gonna win. For some reason, the game plan, my son didn't do what I told him he was supposed to do. His rhythm was supposed to be different, where we were supposed to stop Shakur from doing whatever Shakur does best. You know what I'm saying? Congratulations to him for winning. You know what I'm saying? But that was not my son in there. I think probably the networks and everybody, the media, everything leading up to this fight, everybody already talking that already about Shakur fighting in May, where the winner was supposed to go and fight in May, against whoever it was. So I think that probably got to him, you know what I'm saying? People talking about me being drunk, all that stuff, when he went to the press conference and I wasn't there, I didn't show up because I was resting. And I think all that affected him in this fight, Like a lot of people say, my son is like mentally like easy to, mess with. And how you gonna fight, a fight when everybody wants you to lose? You understand what I'm saying? And I don't know what happened. It just looked like all his powers were not there. Like everything was like that we planned, everything that he did in sparring, everything that we planned to do was not there.
Buddy, it wasn't there because of two reasons. One, Shakur was able to shut down those game plans. One, whatever they were. And two, there were no game plans in the first place. Do you understand? You didn't do a thing. There were no game plans in the first place for Shakur, for Teo to succeed. But it was Teo. Also, I was watching the fight. It was Teo that was trying to do different stuff, but it wasn't off of the advice of his corner, because his corner in Teo Sr., I forget his first name, so I'm just saying Lopez Sr., was doing nothing. It was a abhorrent win. But it's still not win, an abhorrent performance by the corner. And this is part of the thing we talked about with other fighters before. The following some relationship, it can work sometimes and sometimes it don't. And this situation, buddy, it's run its course. It's got to end. Because there was no Teo was off his game. Talking about something, how can you fight when everybody wants to use? Buddy, you've been in that situation 3 times now. People already didn't like Teofimo Lopez as a boxer. You fought, you've been around Devin Haney when everybody wanted him to lose, and he won. You've been around Ryan Garcia. Everybody wanted him to lose, and he won. You've been around even Terrence Crawford. You wanted him to lose against Canelo Alvarez because you were talking a whole bunch of smack against him, and he won. You can't have that as an excuse, and then you can't throw your son under the bus saying you can mentally mess with him. Well, it's your job to make sure you fortify that mind, is it not? It's part of your job to make him untouchable mentally, and let alone not admit, oh yeah, you can go and do some stuff with him. If anything, you're the one that's messing with him. You're the one that's messing with his mind, messing with his mental faculty. I guarantee you, if it's a different corner, we probably have a whole different conversation, at least one standpoint about how we see Teofimo Lopez being able to be structured and rooted and grounded from his makeup as a mental-minded fighter. Because we know what he's like when he's on. When he's off, we've seen the complete difference. Buddy, one of the things that has been the catalyst of that difference has been you. When y'all's relationship is good, okay, he can do something great, but apparently it ain't never good all the time. And this is not me trying to go into cast aspersions on family dynamics. I don't touch on that. I'm saying as a coach and fighter relationship, you are not being helpful, and let alone especially after what you just said this night. It's like you sure enough should not continue with this situation. That you should not. There was a fighter recently that just left his father trainer to go through and get a legit trainer. I can't remember who it is, but I can't remember who the fighter is. But it was somebody prominent that was training with their dad. They were not able to succeed. Brian Norman, that's what it was. Brian Norman Jr. Brian Norman Jr. left his trainer, left his coach, left his father to go get another trainer. Not because he didn't like his dad, but because he needed to move up. And what was going on with that relationship, what you were teaching him, what you were bringing out of him, wasn't doing the part anymore. The same thing with Tio now. This was the time that if this relationship was going to work, or at least show that it could still be fruitful on one of the biggest stages in one of the biggest fights of your career, you could argue that this was the biggest fight of Tio's career, even beyond the likes of Lomachenko, even when Lomachenko was number one in the world, because of the more laden cachet that we see Shakur have on the stage that it was on. On that perspective, you can argue, but even still, one of those two, this was the other biggest fight of your career, and we're not lamenting the loss, we're lamenting how you lost and why you lost. Why you lost, more importantly, is because of the fact that your dad couldn't do a thing. Your dad, Shakur, could have been in that ring by himself and beaten Teofimo Lopez without a corner, without a trainer, without anybody in his way. You know why? Because you, as Tio's father, were a worse trainer and was more of a worse addendum to his skill set. At this current time in his career, you've got to go, because Shakur could have beaten Tio by himself if you were the guy that was training. He didn't need anybody. He could have gotten his own water. He could have been his own cut man, because he wasn't getting cut. He wasn't getting touched, and he could have done whatever he wanted to do. He could have been talking to himself. He could have put a mirror in front of his corner and talked to himself about what game plans you need to do, having his own alter ego. If that, put on a hat while you're in your corner and have yourself look at yourself as a coach and talk to yourself. You could have done that. Have your own bucket, cloth, water, mouth guard, all of that. You could have done that by yourself if you were Shakur Stevenson, because of that bum of a coach that we saw Lopez Sr. be on that night. And now we see this is no longer a reason for you to be with him. There's no longer a reason for you to be. If you are with Tio, I dare say, let's look at the other prospects at 140 or even at 147. With Tio in your corner, with Tio Senior, Lopez Senior in your corner, you're definitely not beating Devin Haney. Number one, you're definitely not beating Devin Haney with Tio Senior in your corner. The first one. And depending on how we see Brian Norman Jr. elevate with his newfound coaching with Derek James, getting away from his own father, there's an argument that if he gets too good, you may not be able to beat him with Tio in your corner. There's a real argument that at 140, though we can say that Tio is still a very demonstrative fighter, that people, you can't just beat him if you just anybody on the street, or even if you're a great fighter, you can't just walk in and say, yeah, I'm going to do the same thing Shakur did, or I'm going to do the same thing that Kambosos did, especially when Tio's on his game. Tio is a great fighter. Let's be clear about that. Ain't nobody just going to come in and beat him. You got to be something serious. But I'm going to tell you this right now. Tio can be coached down, and because he can be coached down, we can see some of those other fighters like Gary Antoine Russell come in and give him some trouble. Shoot, we even got the likes of Shakur Foster, who keeps on calling out Shakur Stevenson and says he may move up to 140. He wants that smoke. Or if Shakur comes down to 135, he may want that smoke. There's an argument that even with Shakur Foster, though he is seen as a very enticing fighter, sure, there's a lot of prospects to what he can be when it comes to this elite level of competition. He can get coached down in terms of Tio to where he struggles against Shakur Foster. But who at 135, that was your domain. Tio is not going to be the Tio that needs to be unless we get Lopez Jr. or Lopez Sr., excuse me, out of there. Especially the way he's talking right now. Because what game plan was there to follow when you didn't have a plan in the first? You weren't establishing whatever you were trying to game plan for. You weren't saying anything to go and adapt. And why are you doing this when you should be doing that? You weren't going over anything in that corner about what needs to be when we are trying to make this fight work in our favor. There was not a word said in reference to a game plan about Shakur that was supposed to be followed. It was simply, why aren't you knocking him out? Where's your power? And you got to hit him. You got to touch him. You got to do something. Well, what's the something? What's the answer? What's the outlook from the all-powerful high branch that you're able to watch this fight from? How in the world is it that we've seen? I'm sorry. I'm high. When it comes to a trainer doing this, being this belligerent, disrespectful to a fighter when he is at fault for this performance, just as much as Tio getting outclassed by Shakur was what Shakur's doing. It was Lopez Sr. that wasn't giving him an answer to do anything. I don't even know if he had a game plan going into this fight. Even when he was describing, that's not what we trained to do. Buddy, the fight's over. What were you trying to do? Apparently, it was a bunch of nothing because you don't know what you're doing at this level. You got him this far, and you were able to help him against other greats, yes, but now it's a different landscape and where your fighters at and what they are. We see, we look at Tio. Tio's looking defeated. He's talking defeated. He's feeling unwanted and undeserved in some degrees. Go look at the interviews that he's had. It's very sad to hear because he should have a whole bunch of respect and pride in his career. But he's like, man, I hate it all. Because I never got my just due, my fair share. And it's like, it's a horrible sentiment. But part of that is propagated by the corner, by the personnel around him. This is not a relationship that's going to work. And he needs to cut it off today. Today. He can still win with Senior because Tio is that great of a fighter. But I'm telling you this, if he wants to get back to the best that he can be, if not better than what he is right now, because he's going to need it, get rid of him. Get rid of that get rid of that cat right now. Get rid of that cat right now, today. You got to get rid of him. If you don't, man, it's going to be horrible. It's going to be terrible. It's relationship that's run this course. It's time to go. It's time to go. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go on a tangent, but I'm just, like, I can't stand the ignorance of a trainer when they don't see their own faults as to why their own fighter failed. It's because of him. As much as it is Shakur just that great of a fighter, and he's just a better fighter, there was no answer given because there was no answer that was provided because Lopez Sr. couldn't give an answer. He couldn't. Got the nerve to throw your son under the bus in a way that just further demeans him as a person and as a boxer. It's horrible. Get this brother out of here when it comes to training him. Because from a perspective of molding talent, you can say what you want about Tio personally. As a fighter, he deserves better than that. He deserves better than that. No question. Oh gosh, that's so fortunate. Let me see. Murataya and Tank are the only ones that can beat Shakur at 135 and at 140. I got to study more film on Hiroka, Gary Antoine Russell, but I see only Keyshawn. If we want to go from a raw speed perspective that can potentially actually help, Russell is on that prospect, but I don't think he won't be able to get around that jab, most likely. Murataya is the best. Right now is the other best threat at 135 if we see Shakur move back down, but I'm just very concerned at dealing with that type of even higher elevated technical efficiency. Oh boy, I know Murataya can make a great fight. I just don't think he can beat him. You want to say he has one of the best chances? That's fine. Perfectly fine to have that as a sentiment. But even that best chance is not a high chance, strictly because of how good Shakur is. But both of those R&D, very good fights. That I could see happen at 135, or like I said with Keyshawn Davis, Gary Antoine Russell at 140. So I know no issue there. Let me see, worst corner I've seen in my life, worse than Brian Norman Jr. Yeah, no, it was worse than Abdul. Yeah, it was bad. It was really, really bad. And I'm talking. Look, I'm didn't mean to lose my cool. Right? I did mean to lose my cool, rather, because this is something you should be mad about. You should be mad about. If you want to see quality fights across the board, you should be mad about T.O.'s dad being the cyber trainer. You may feel disrespected or you may feel upset, but that's the truth. You should be mad at that Lopez Sr. is T.O.'s trainer, because this is going to hold him. What he did today, what he did last week, this weekend, excuse me, inexcusable. Let me see. With a different staff, no way T.O. goes out like that. There needs to be a rematch clause. No, there wasn't a rematch clause. We don't need to see a rematch. Up until unless we see Shakur or T.O. completely rejuvenate himself in a way that it's like, okay, yeah, this is a different beast. But yeah, it just needs to be a brand new team. T.O.'s one of the best talents I've ever seen. No way he'd think he'd get beat up like that. Nah, there's no way. You can see it. There's no way he thought that. He knew Shakur was good, but I don't even think he expected him to be that good. That much of an all-seeing eye when it comes to the world of boxing and seeing everything before it happens. It's insane. It's ridiculous. But again, we're going to touch on that more often, but we got to make sure we cover the other fights at hand, like with Keyshawn Davis versus Jermaine Ortiz. And if you didn't get to see that fight, brother, you missed an absolute comeback display of epic proportions. People talk about the likes of Keyshawn potentially fighting Devin Haney. Well, this is a good start to see that potential outcome. Let me see. But also, Boxing Pro, is it Osa? I think it's Osa. Boxing Pro Osa, how you doing? Thank you for tuning in. We're so happy that you're here with us. Hopefully you left a like on the stream. Hopefully you're enjoying the show. And we hope that you do keep on sticking around. And please, anybody who's here, keep on liking the show, sharing the stream. Tell everybody that you know. Leave a like on the stream to help push this to the algorithm so the world can see what we got on the hottest show in all the globe. No question about it. And if you want to support the channel, because we can't do this to our viewers like you, we got Cash App and PayPal. Links down below in the description. And we will add, as well as super chats, super gifts, and super stickers. All that stuff to help invest into this show. We would appreciate it. Helps me pay some bills and also helps me to make sure I can keep doing this for a living. Absolutely, all with you and your support, so I appreciate it nonetheless. But let me see what you got to say on it. Why doesn't he change strategies? Yeah, T.O. didn't change strategy all because he did not have any other strategy. Shakur, T.O. couldn't change his strategy strictly because he was outmatched and his corner didn't have any other things to give him outside of use your power. Part of the reason why this was so lopsided was, especially when we can see with this fight, a lot of that game plan that was being trained on was strictly because of the athleticism. A lot of that game plan that T.O. had was based on the athletic makeup of T.O. to say, okay, you can get to him, you can hurt him, and then, oh, yeah, you'll be able to go and explode forward and catch him off guard with the straight right downstairs, and then follow up with the volley of rolling punches that we know we've seen him do multiple times before, that it is indeed, for most other people, hard to stop. And you got enough instincts, yeah, you can slip and get out the way. A lot of it was physical to go and rattle the psyche and the composure of Shakur. That's what T.O. Sr. apparently was training with Teofimo Lopez. And that was the only game plan that he had, because he had nothing else. And he was just saying, just hit him. Go listen to the corner. There was no advice. Nothing. That he couldn't adapt because they didn't train for anything else. It was every other adaptation that we saw in that fight that T.O. even attempted to do was all off of the dome for T.O. because he is indeed an excellent mental fighter. He's not dumb. He's incredibly smart. That usage of of unorthodox offense is because of his defensive instincts, and he's got a very high IQ in his own right, coupled with that insane athleticism and potential offensive ability. It's the fact that Teo was doing everything he could, trying to make small changes and everything. It just wasn't working because Shakur is just that much of an all-seeing eye of dominance and defense. But at the same breath, his corner didn't do a thing to change or give him advice on something else that could work. It was all Teo and nothing else. That's the problem. That's why we didn't see a change or a big perceivable change, because it was a combination that Shakur shut everything down and Teo's corner didn't have an answer at all because Teo's father was a terrible coach in that situation. He was. He absolutely. Let me see. Yeah, it may have been having another agree his bad. You know, it was bad. It was really, really bad. Go in contact and go in contact, and with his eyes, he couldn't touch Teo for sure. Yeah. It's with that. The swelling, and we touched on this in the fight. The swelling of Teo could have been a major factor, not just with the judges, but for Teo himself. And with that stinging southpaw jab, I'm telling you, Shakur got more power than people have been giving him credit for. He proved something to me as well, that he started to actually do some real damage in the later rounds against Teofimo Lopez. He got some crack, some pop, and it's a bunch of stings can incapacitate somebody. And that's how Shakur operates. It's the same thing with Floyd. Floyd is a snappy puncher that he's got enough pop, especially when his hands were brittle. He still had enough pop that you had to respect him. And you had to think, on top of the fact that now that Shakur's hands look healthy, for the second straight fight, throwing real heat, yeah, there's some latent power that he's now unlocked like he had when he was at 130. Like with Jamal Herring, like with Yoshino, like when he almost knocked out Artem Aratunian if he didn't hold back. He's a bad brother. He is a bad brother. Let me see. Yes, Welch, I agree. Round 8, I seen his offense coming together, but it was kind of like he didn't watch film and went in blind. Yeah, to some degree. The round 8 was the only round that he had some consistent offense. The best round of the fight for Teo. That's the only. That was on my scorecard. That was about the only round I saw him win outright. That I was like, there's no dispute. Okay, yeah, he won that one. But it was because Shakur was taking a round off. Shakur to some degree. Now, granted, he got caught. Shakur did get clipped, but he took it well. But he was also taking a round off. And when he got back on the bike, domination like usual. So it's like there was some success, but with context, it's like, was it really success? Let me see. No way could stop those jabs, as educated as they were. His hands always being down. Yeah, man, it's that and the speed of that jab is something I didn't take into account as how quick it could snap out. That's what also made it so difficult. It wasn't just the timing, but that thing came out like a snake. Like a snake getting ready to strike. That was lethal by the likes of Shakur, man. Let me see. Teo has IQ and fast, but not at distance with Shakur. Yeah, no, you're right. The distance of Shakur is a problem. And trying to fight even in that, now we can say, trying to fight even in the mid-range, where that fight was mostly at, is a no-no. You can't do it. You just can't do it. But I do want to make sure we can at least touch on Keyshawn Davis. I did promise Keyshawn, then Shushu Carrington, and then the rest of the championship rounds where you all drive the conversation, the rest of the boxing world and the rest of sports as a whole. But we do have a structure that we're trying to keep with on this show. But we'll answer a couple more questions with the Shakur Stevenson talk, and then we are gonna delve into Keyshawn Davis and his performance, like we had tried to start to do when we got back into the saddle of Teo. But let me read the rest of your comments, and we're gonna switch gears briefly into the rest of the fights that were significant on the card. But let me keep on reading. Also, I didn't know you were French. How you doing? Oui. Again, Jean-Luc Welch. People think I'm French all the time, but I'm straight from down south, so can't speak a lick of it, but. I got the menage a trois. Is it Twa? I can't pronounce it. I'm butchering your beautiful language. I do apologize. I'm butchering the beautiful language that is French, and I apologize for it. Please bear with me. I'm sick of what I know. But let me see what you all got to say on the day. And yeah, it was a horrible strategy by Tio, and a lot of it was I gotta make do for my own, and because of that, I just want Tio to leave his dad because somebody else that actually can see deeper levels of the game. In order for Tio to keep on succeeding at a high level, it's got to be done. Tio ain't getting no younger. We don't want to waste that. This loss isn't the end, but we don't want to waste the rest of the prime that Tio's got and the rest of this ability. We need to see him get somebody else that can be another eye in the sky. And his dad definitely ain't one of them now. And it shouldn't be. Let me see. Plus, I've never seen Shakur fight this angry or in a heavy front foot. I mean, that was Zepeda. He fought Zepeda head on. He did. It was the fact that Zepeda was also walking towards him. This is the first time I've seen, outside of Yoshino, Shakur box and fight somebody and force them backwards to where they did not want to come forward or they had to hesitate. This is the second time I've seen that. That's incredible. That's phenomenal. That's great. Making it so that somebody else is getting wary enough that where you would think that their best advantage would be, which was trying to keep that distance close, they were hesitating to get there. Like we saw with, at least like what I saw with Tio in my perception of the fight. That's incredible. That is legitimately incredible. Shakur, I hate his boxing. No animations, no funny. He must finish Tio. He could now. Like I said, we last couple chats, then we're gonna touch on Keyshawn Davis. But understand, this was not a boring fight. But do not expect Shakur to go for knockouts because Shakur, that is not how he's built as a fighter. He will not give you flash because everything he said is, I'm going to win. I don't care how it happens. I'm gonna win. You're not gonna beat me. I'm not going to get out of my element to try to prove something to you again, like I did with Zepeda. That's not happening. That was a one-time deal. So don't expect him to get knockouts, but understand we're now operating in a world where Shakur Stevenson, we can now definitively say, okay, he can put people to sleep. If you get too reckless, as well as he can fight on the front foot. Second fight, he's done it for the second fight in a row. That's confirmed. He can be an aggressive fighter. That's confirmed, but he just will not get out of his structured fundamentals. But he can still do damage and make a fight with oohs and ahs entertaining, even though he's only doing the simple stuff. If you master the simplicity, you can make anything exciting. And we see Shakur now is able to do that, at least in a better vein than the reputation that he had beforehand. Couple that with the fact, if you rule the jab, you rule the world. He was making me wince and get oohs and ahs strictly by that one weapon alone. That is the quality of a true great fighter. That's the quality of a true great fighter. And that's what he did. I will not wake up for him. No. Look, if you ain't gonna wake up for him, no problem. I get it. Everybody doesn't like the style, and I completely understand. Everybody has to each their own. But I'm just saying, when we watch that fight, I think we can definitively nix away, at least for now, the concerns that Shakur is uber boring. May not be your stylistic preference, but he can make a fight, even though it's only a simplistic affair. Okay, there is some entertainment value. Now again, $100 or so, yeah, I get that. You don't want to pay that. I understand. But for this, paying money, I could see. Maybe a little bit of discount, but I could see. But it ain't going to be everybody's cup of tea. But the skills will still draw people in, because everybody recognizes them. I mean, beautiful boxing, but has no finish. And I'm going to tell you this right now. Dare I say, at 147, we could see him get a finish in this division. at 147, especially with some of the fighters at 147 right now and 140 right now. We could see him get finished. It can happen. The prospect now is indeed there. May not be likely, but it's there nonetheless. As soon as Tito felt Shakur was bigger than or stronger than him, he should immediately started to use lateral movement and would have been a high IQ thing to do. He could have, and it could have been the corner advice. The only issue is, would that have hindered the ability? Not the ability. Would that have worked against somebody like Shakur, who, if you tried to move laterally and make it so that, okay, Shakur's got to follow you and track you around, that could have been great. But also Shakur, with the way that he was fighting, the same way that he was catching him with that jab straight on, he could have still used that and popped Tio like he kept on doing. Or, with that speed, counter with the hook. Because now we saw the speed was there to, okay, whatever you throw, I can beat you to the punch. Something I didn't think was going to happen. And I'm so good defensively. Yeah, Tio, hypothetically, Tio could have risked an even more damaging shot getting landed on him. That could have done more damage with check hooks if he started going left and right and getting countered in the same way that he was getting countered strictly with the jab. And he got caught with some of those hooks that was putting him, they was having an effect. So I don't think there was it could have been another additive move, but I truly don't think there was a good answer. This is one of the few fights I've seen, there was no good answer for what to do against Shakur Stevenson because of everything that he was that was above Teofimo Lopez, which was in such an insane degree, I just didn't expect it. My goodness, insane. It was insane. He used it briefly, but then stopped and stood in front of him multiple times. Yeah, he did. And it could have been a way. I don't know if that would have made a difference as much, however, but it could have absolutely been a thing. Keyshawn, he boxes well with animation, and he wants to finish the fight. Very big talent. I paid for him. And look, I get that. And now we can real quick. Now we switching gears. Be clear. We fully switching gears. We go. Not saying Tito would have done better against Shakur. Would have been a better option than standing in front of him. Yes, I agree. And it could have been a well-deserved change that could have at least given him a new outlook on the fight. But you're right. Probably wouldn't have made a difference. But I get exactly what you're saying, Grace. But now, Keyshawn Davis, we got to touch on this fight because Keyshawn Davis made a statement in his comeback after the altercations with Albright going above and beyond the line of duty and jumping him backstage. Then missing weight, missing weight with De Los Santos and missing out on a world championship opportunity that would have put him in the same breath as the likes of Abdullah Mason and some of the others at 135. Even Shakur Stevenson, as one of the prominent bright stars in this sport, now got his return against Jermaine Ortiz, who was indeed a very game test, who had given the likes of Teofimo Lopez, the headliner, all that he could handle with his slick boxing. And now we got to see Keyshawn Davis. What have you learned? What fighter are you now? Who can you be without your normal team, with a whole new set of people, and without Bobak in your corner? And I can say this right now, for all of the concern that I had with Keyshawn Davis going into this fight, he looked mighty fine. That brother looks like he's well and good off. Because he put him out. He put him out in a bad way. Also, real quick, if anybody... Side note, is Justin here? Justin, if you here, buddy, I've been waiting to see, because I think you said you were going to that fight live. I want to hear your thoughts and reaction to all of it, because I know you went to it. You were telling me, and you were saying, yeah, tickets and all. I would love to hear what your experience was. Hopefully you plugged the show while you were there. But I would love to hear your experience. And hopefully you're being safe, and hopefully everything is all well and good, and you're back home enjoying life and enjoying the entirety of that phenomenal night. But even still, Keyshawn Davis put the world back on notice with a dominant knockout performance. It wasn't even just a knockout. He was able to handle Jermaine Ortiz with everything. Defensively was slipping and getting away from shots. Being able to also use distance similar to Shakur Stevenson, his own running mate and friend and partner, to go through and get away from the likes of Jermaine Ortiz. With Jermaine Ortiz going through and having flurries, walking, trying to lead with that straight left hand. With the straight left? Yeah, because he's a southpaw. Punching with that straight left hand essentially as a jab to try to go and catch Keyshawn off guard. That didn't work. Trying to go and throw in volume inside of the range. That didn't work. And he was getting pieced up and caught up. And Keyshawn Davis was being incredibly patient. Using those feet to keep on cornering and keeping Ortiz in directly his line of sight. And never getting overrushed in the anticipation to try to say, I want to get the kill. I want to get it done. Landing, thudding shots all along the way. Countering with the jab beautifully. Countering with the check hook beautifully. Being able to go downstairs to the body and land thudding shots around the guard and handle that Philly shell and that head movement and that footwork that Jermaine Ortiz was trying to throw, hurting him a couple times in this fight, and ultimately, I think in round 11, going through and putting him down, getting him on hurt, on Dream Street, and finally putting him out and getting this fight done with a shot downstairs, 2 shots downstairs to the body were the shots that ended the show. And what a performance in a fight that now has everybody buzzing, and we can now see Keyshawn Davis say at 140, hey man, this cat's back. He's back, buddy. He's back. He's back. He's back. He's back, and he might be just as good as that. I'm not gonna say this is better. I'm not gonna say this is better just yet, but he's at least back to where we can say he's just as good as we've ever seen him. Boy, howdy, when we look at the next steps for him, hey man, I'm going to let Keyshawn Davis tell you exactly how he feels about what's going to transpire with his career going forward as he transitions over into the world of picture and picture. Yes, indeed. Oh, no, that ain't it. Is that it? That ain't it. Is it it? Do it. Hold on. Time out. Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. Wait a second. Is it not up? Wait. Hold on. Why is it a black screen? There we go. Okay, there we go. Now we can go into the world. There we go. Now we're going to the world of picture, and I'm going to let you hear what Keyshawn Davis had to say about what his next steps for his reign in boxing that he would like to go and fight at.
Me right now, I'm be real. I'm be real, both of y'all.
Also, if there's any foul language, viewer discretion advised. We apologize, trying to be family friendly and trying to be sponsor friendly. Wink, wink. So we can get that gouda, that butter, that cheddar, if you know what I mean. But I digress. Back to the video.
I'm in a position to where, like, I can stay at 140 and I can just go crazy at 140. I don't have to go up to 147 to fight none of them fighters.
Right.
I'm making the decision to go up to be great. You know what I'm saying? And as long as that respect level is there, as long as that is worth my time moving up to fight Devin Haney, I'm going to fight him. If it's not worth my time, Keyshawn is going to make the right business decision so I can get in that position again so they will respect my name. You know what I'm saying? There's another champion out there. His name is Lewis Crocker. He's a 147-pound champion. Me and Eddie Hearns already been talking about him before Devin Haney even surfaced the platform. You know what I'm saying? And he's from the UK. So I would love to go to the UK and fight Lewis Crocker as well. Before I fight Devin Haney. But 3 fights is what I want to fight this year. So once I fight Lewis Crocker, my first 147, yes. Woo. My first 147-pound fight, Lewis Crocker, then of course I'll go fight Devin Haney right after.
So as you can see, Keyshawn Davis got some big plans for ahead of him. He do. Hey man, this guy, he's trying to get active. He wants smoke every which way, which I'm excited for. And this newfound, again, this turnaround with his life seems to be a legit turnaround that it has the public looking at him and saying, okay, yeah, this dude, he wants that smoke. And mind you, he brought up the name Devin Haney, and it's not just because of fluke. He in the middle, if I can find the call out, he straight up called out Devin Haney in the center of the ring to say, hey, we want that smoke, we want that fire, we want that fervor, and we want to go against one of the best in the world. If as I'm talking, I'll try to see if I can find the clip of him calling him out. But even still, he has a whole bunch of willing staying power. From the perspective that he's got a lot of movement leeway with this type of performance, because you got to understand, this is where he is right back to where he was when he was gonna fight De Los Santos, from the perspective of an options fighter with moves to go. He was indeed in a position to where the names of Devin Haney, Abdullah Mason, or Teofimo Lopez, or anybody else at 140 were on the docket as about 6 to 7 quality fights that he could indeed make a big splash for and was in a position to be a big time name for, before the whole life situations occurred with the brawl and missing weight and the respect of his name going down the tube. With this type of performance, he successfully got back to ground zero. He got back to standard. He got back to even, which we didn't know if it was going to be the case. We didn't. And because of that, now it's great. It's great to hear. It's great to see. But let me see what you all have to say. Absolutely on the night. That was a bad stoppage. There was 11 seconds left, but did not expect did not expect Key to look so dominant, especially with Key on the front foot and Ortiz on the back foot. That's the shocking point. Now, granted, because of the previous round, Keyshawn had knocked him down. Round 11, when he knocked him down the first time with a shot to the body. And Ortiz was very much on, at that point in time, he was running trying to survive because he was hurt bad. And it was almost a minute or so of unkept dominance from an offensive perspective. And then going into the next round, Ortiz looked like he had recovered, looked like everything was going through, got hurt again. Face was getting beat up and was getting caught with bigger shots later on in the round. And then ultimately that knockdown to the body, the ref was like, okay, yeah, we gotta get this done. We gotta end this because it's too much punishment. And close to the fight's end, you could have let him survive, but at the same time, I get what the ref was saying where, okay, you're starting to get pieced up a lot. And if you go down now, it's like, okay, we don't want you getting up and all of a sudden, even in that last second, you get caught with something that's too debilitating. And so we're gonna end it. So I get it. You can call it bad stoppage, no issue. I don't think it was bad. I think though it was close, it was warranted. Either way, the same result would have happened. Keyshawn would have won. But the dominance on the back foot was something nobody expected to this type of degree that Keyshawn was going to be able to overcome. From the standpoint of how Jermaine Ortiz normally fights, with trouble that he gave Teo, Keyshawn handled him with the greatest of ease and with the business. He did. He really did. I live him amazing. Oh yeah, he's amazing. He's amazing. Like boxing pro, you're right. He is incredible. He is phenomenal. This is why he was being brought up with Abdullah Mason, specifically with Gervonta Davis, as this cat could beat him. This cat could beat him and be one of the best champions and go for a running undisputed at 135. Now at 140, that same prospect is there. He can go undisputed. He can have a docket of success to where he could become a dominant force. Now, he's not going to fight Shakur Stevenson. And if he did fight Shakur Stevenson and break that blood bond that they said that they had with each other from a brotherhood's perspective, then guess what? He gets beat by Shakur. But regardless of that, he can be one of the reigning dominant people in this division. No question about it. Like you said, yeah, he loses to Shakur in my estimation, just like I see with you from my own perception. But let me see. Key wants an easy belt. I mean, I don't blame him strictly because of the fact that he wants to get back to the position of, I was going to get a championship, now I got a championship, and he's got leisure to choose who he wants to fight against. I could fight Gary Antoine Russell, sure, right? I wouldn't be mad at that. If he took on Gary Russell at 140 before he took his belt, fine, great, incredible. He ain't gonna fight Shakur unless the fans can goad him into fighting him by saying, yeah, Shakur, whoop your butt, and get him mad to the point that, hey, man, they talking too reckless. I got love you, but I gotta do what I gotta do to show these people I am who I am. But that most likely ain't gonna happen. So he's out the question. You wanted to fight Rolly Romero? Do you want to fight Rolly Romero at 147? I don't think that fight's really exciting. Lewis Crocker might be just the best position. It might be. From the standpoint of it's a fight that makes sense. It's a fight that is for a title. It's a fight that if he does win that, well, then the rest of the division is his to rule, and it sets up even bigger paydays for bigger fights. Imagine if he goes over to I believe Lewis Crocker is based in the UK. If he goes over to the UK, he knocks out Lewis Crocker. All of a sudden, all those fans become his fans, and now he comes back to the States, and everybody sees this man as even bigger cash cow abroad, not just locally from a business perspective. Like Keyshawn said, it makes sense that should happen. It does. But we're going to have to see how it goes. Key's frame will allow him to go to the middleweights. He's not going to lose for a long time, especially at 147. Maybe if he goes to 154. Y'all can see it. 154's got the best opportunity to beat him. 147 is at the top level, will be his toughest test. Most likely that will push him to the absolute limit where you can't succeed and you're still matched up with everybody else physically. 140, it's got the biggest density of talent outside of 154, but after this performance, it would be very interesting to see if he can beat, specifically the Gary Russells and T.O.'s of the world, if he ever got matched up with T.O. But most likely, he dominant, doesn't lose. Most likely he doesn't lose up here. Unless somebody catching him with a shot that can hurt him. Because he got caught with some stuff by Jermaine Ortiz now. He did. And he was rocked for a split second. Somebody with some more power, like a Gary Antoine Russell, okay, that could be disturbing. But beyond that, from a skills perspective, he's going to be hard to beat. He's going to be incredibly hard to beat. Rolly versus Key be a good, because both those guys are punchers. It would be. Now, I guarantee you, that's going to be an offensive war. Keyshawn should be able to outbox him in a way that Ryan Garcia just couldn't. Now, with Rolly getting better, and with that own explosive force that he does, with the power to boot, Keyshawn might be tested in a new type of vein. But he should be able to beat him. He should. And if Rolly, I don't know who he's trying to fight because he turned down every fighter that's come his way. But we're going to see if he does get a chance against Keyshawn Davis. I would hope that we actually get to see that come to fruition. But again, going back to Devin Haney and Keyshawn Davis as a fight that we could potentially see. The reason why I say it can happen is because we had I don't know if it's playing in the background or not. Let me actually pause this real quick so we don't hear it. But we had Keyshawn Davis coming through and saying to Bill Haney's face, in reference to, we want to see that fight happen. Hey, if I win, you going to make it next. And apparently there was a promise that was made. And so we are going to see that fight take place. Let me go in transition to show you that clip as evidence that we could see Keyshawn and Devin Haney happen next at 147. Y'all can see it? Okay, yeah, y'all can see it. Here we go. No, y'all can't hear it. Hold on. There we go. Okay.
The same thing that we talked about we were going to do in the DMs before you picked Jermaine.
2026, we're doing it.
You promise? Remember,
you promised. You're the promoter.
Well, I got you. Listen, in the DMs, I got your word on it. All right, just stand on it. Good luck. Handle that business, okay? All right.
So, again, as you can see, they apparently over social media, they've been going back and forth at each other and saying, we want that smoke. Even still right here, you can see his latest statement from Keyshawn himself. Devin Haney is definitely on my hit list, and we making that fight happen in 2026. He's keyed in. If 140 is an option to stay, as he said, Lewis Crocker and all this stuff. But his main goal is 147 and Devin Haney. That's his first priority. A quick stint here to make a bigger fight on the masses 40 likes of 147, where everybody's able to see the greatness on display. That's what he wants. That's what he's begging for. That's what he's asking for. That's what he's anticipating. Will it happen? We're going to find out. But just know, it is a real interesting sentiment. Truly interesting. But let me see what you all got to say. I just think Key is bigger than Rolly. That's the only reason. That's the only reason I favor him. I think he is a he's a more, well, I can't even say he's a more patient fighter than what we saw, because what we saw with Rolly Romero. He is a better sniper that can take advantage of Rolly's overzealous tendencies at times. Even with a more sustained composure that Rolly's brought to the table, like what we saw against Ryan Garcia, it's still a concerning venture going up against the likes of Keyshawn, because unlike Ryan Garcia, if you do come into that range, Keyshawn's got the variety of punch selection as well as the speed. I can get you. And I'm not like Ryan Garcia where you're going to be able just to hit me because I don't have my defense up like I need to. Ain't going to be like that. So I would favor Keyshawn Davis in that fight. But either way, if it goes through, I'm excited to see how it goes nonetheless. We still got more to cover on this show, like with the likes of Bruce Carrington. Let me see if I can pull up the very image that I wanted to show for this particular endeavor, because right now we got the new champion at 126. That is Bruce Carrington, and a brother who everybody has been saying, we've been waiting, anticipating, vying for Shushu to become a dominant force. And as he rep the pinstripes of the New York Yankees in his home city of New York, now right from Brownsville, New York, but no, his community, his people, he now was able to go through and conquer the world and show the world that he is indeed a beast, a monster, a true dominant dog, and he is the new not even super, it's a super featherweight. No, featherweight. He's the new featherweight champion of the world, and he's looking to become undisputed. If you didn't see that fight, the performance was incredible. The performance was phenomenal. The snappiness of his punches, the true boxing acumen of being able to go and not just put his opponent out, but do it in a way that he was untouchable, slipping and weaving and moving through and being able to be a sniper of a score, being able to consistently keep, not just keep his cool, but stand by when the pressure was coming forward against him, but make him miss oh so often. The punch selection of Shushu is so great. He is so sharp. He is so disciplined. Now there's some things I could say, like with the Philly shell and whatnot, that I don't like, but even still, it worked out oh so well. Was able to catch and counter with the greatest of ease, and he ended the show in round 5 with a destructive 5-piece combo to put his opponent out and put him on the canvas. And mind you, this brother, he was supposed to get up. When I say he was out before he hit the ground. He was out by the time that first shot came through with that straight left. That straight right hand. He was out. He was out before he hit the ground. That 5-piece solidified the deal. And this is a buddy who was tough and rugged, and we thought he was going to be able to get up. He stayed down. Straight up, one hit, straight up, one knockout. That's it. This cat, from what I had said about when he was unproven, untested, and somebody who I did not see as he's good, but I'm not sold on him completely. I turned around and started to see, okay, I see what this man really can be at 126 and why this hype isn't just hype, there's some reality behind it. I see why he was saying, okay, I think I can beat in a way because I think I'm that good. Okay, you got some real skills I can get by. He did. And as I was even lamenting the fact that I didn't see the power that people were saying that Shushu had, he went and landed that 5-punch combination that knocked him out. And so I was like, well, shoot. Oh, I can't. There's nothing I can say. Except for that, okay, he's for real. And he said on Ariel Wani's show, he's got plans to be able to go and not just take on this division and become a one-time champion. He's trying to be an active brother that wants to take on the globe, and he's looking to become not just one ring, not just lineal. This brother wants to become undisputed, and I'll let him say it for yourself right here. If
being in the full bat era,
okay,
even unified champ, like
hold on, start out with you, Will. Let me make sure y'all can see it. Okay, yeah, y'all can see it. Here we go.
I'm shooting to be the first undisputed featherweight world champion in the full belt era.
Okay.
Even unified champ. Like this featherweight division has been unified since Chris John had the WBA and the IBO.
Wow.
And that's like early 2000s, you know, no, late 2000s. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like at this moment, this division is the hottest it's been in forever.
Oh, yeah.
And it's about that time to start mixing that melting pot. But I think I can see myself going as high as 47.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I can see myself going as high
Okay.
as 47, yeah, for sure. Maybe even 54 for a big fight.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. That's
Yeah.
almost 30 pounds
Skills
from where
pay
you're
the
at right
bills.
now. That's right.
Skills pay the bills.
Who's the dream fight? Like, who's the final boss for you?
As of right now,
Yeah.
because I can't see a final boss like when I get to the bigger
Too
weight
far,
classes. So
okay.
I think that's too far out. I
Yeah.
think, you know, we got to see how everything
In the
plays out.
sort of like 2-3 years period
Yeah.
from here, who would you say?
Now anyway.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the one, huh?
yeah, I feel like he's the guy.
What
the
a
guy.
freaking fight that would be.
Yeah, that would be amazing. That would be.
Do you think he beats Nakatani?
Yes. Now I think he beats Nakatani. Like before, it's like I think he would beat Nakatani, but I feel like Dill's been like, I don't know. Now I see.
Was it because of Nakatani's last performance?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. It's the little things, man. It's the inside fighting. He's very uncomfortable with the inside fighting, and I also think that the weight, he's too small for it.
Okay.
I think he's too small for it. Anyway, I think he fits much better at 122. Nakatani, I don't think he's big enough for 122. He has the height for it, yeah. Decent power, but that guy that he fought was walking through his punches and being just able to just land a lot of big shots, like too many, to where the defense was showing like he needs to tighten up. And if he's not going to tighten up against a guy like that, in a way, it's surgical. He gotta really work on his defense. Who knows though? You know what went on in camp. Who knows? It was just probably one of those fights for him
Right,
to where it was like, he just didn't feel 100%. When you fight a guy like Inoue, you kind of wake up differently. You kind of work differently to where you're 100% prepared. So maybe that was just a fight for Nakatani to where we just, you know, got to see, you know, one of his, like, not his best nights. But I do think that when it comes to the fundamentals, there's some big holes in this game to where Inoue can definitely take advantage.
How far away do you think you are from this, like, maybe being a thing?
I would say maybe a year.
Yeah.
Maybe just a year away. Yeah, it's
Is the
right
dream
there.
to try to, like, get more belts so that entices him to come after you?
100%.
Okay.
100%.
All right. Well, as you can see, this brother, he's got a plan. I let the whole clip play because I was interested to see how this is going to unfold when looking at Shushu and his I don't want to say admiration, his goals going forward. And couple of things I didn't expect. In fact, let me hold on, real quick, before we even continue this. Hold on 1 minute. Let me go through and do this thing properly. We're gonna go and we're gonna. I'm about to change one of these graphics because this is a topic that we need to delve into for real, like for real. But when it comes to Shushu Carrington going at 154, buddy, that is I don't know if his frame can go that far. I'm gonna be real. No, don't clap for that. Oh no. I don't. At 126 to go out to 142. But we're saying Inoue can't even go out to 130. He's even for Inoue, and we've seen Inoue even as great as we saw the performance that we saw in this fight for Shushu, which is incredible, becoming a champion at 126. No issue there. He ain't. I don't see him as that much of a transcendent fighter. Where he's getting up to like a Boots Ennis. Lord willing, if he does get up there to be able to fight at that level, Devin Haney, I don't think that. If you go up that high, now you're going up against Shakur Stevenson. Do you really want that type of smoke? Hold on now. Wait a minute now. Wait a second now. There might be too much dip on your chip for this immediate moment. But I'm going to tell you this right now. When it comes to him at 126, I buy into the hype. When it comes to him against Inoue, I buy into the quality of fight. But he's still not better than him. Be clear. He's not better than him. He's not better than Inoue. He's not better than Inoue on Inoue's best day, absolutely. An average Inoue can fight up to the level of the same Shushu that we saw go up and win this title. That's not me being a hater. That's the we know what we're watching. We know what we've seen. This is the experience that Inoue brings against every fight. The average version of Inoue is on par with this phenomenal version of Shushu. Not even on par. It's better. But Shushu has made me believe, okay, he can't compete. I have no issue with it. What I am very intrigued by is this dynamic of speed with that fight if it does indeed take place. Because Shushu Carrington showed me, okay, he's got some real, when it comes to talent and punching. Though he was, again, vastly outclassing his opponent physically. We understand that. Fundamentals, he was a lot sharper. Everything was stinging a whole lot more. He was very much more reactive. All that stuff is great and good. But, same breath, I don't know how that's going to translate going up against somebody that can match you or be as sharp as you with an even higher mind. That as much as you were seeing holes, you got holes in your own right. You back up and sometimes defend the same way. You throw the same punches sometimes overly too much. At some point in time, you get caught and your defensive posture changes to where you can get caught again. Some of us ever hit that window. But great fighter nonetheless. He's and as you saw in the interview, he's doing all of this because the immediate mega fight is with Inoue. It is. Understand this, however. Inoue is not going to be looking at Shushu Carrington first. One, because he's not looking past Nakatani. And two, as we've always seen with Inoue, if he does beat Nakatani and if he moves up, we're going to see him gun for the biggest name in the pot, the biggest dog in the kettle, the largest test that he can take when it comes to going into the division. And that's going to be Espinoza or Nick Ball. One of those two. One of those two. It's gonna be one of those two. And so I do like the mindset that I'm gonna win all the belts, I'm gonna become undisputed, and I'm gonna do what I need to do to make it so that when he does get up here, he's gonna get up here, I'm going to have enough gold that I'm in position, whether it's the first or second fight, we getting it in. Now, does it happen this year? I don't know. With how Inoue fought last year, fighting 4 times a year, and then saying that, his body was, it was aching. He said it was a good ache because he loved the activity, fought more than any other champion in the world of boxing. But he's still, that's a lot of fights from the perspective of the average outcome. And he was saying it took a number on him. We've heard Crawford say, I only fight 1 time a year because that's what my body can take to be at the best that it can be. If I could fight more, I'd fight more, but that ain't what I'm trying to do because I know I'm listening to what I know I can do. If I want to be able to make sure I'm at my best, I can only fight this much. Canelo fighting twice a year is incredible. But even him fighting if he did fight 4 times a year, good gosh, what would that do to his stamina? It's an impressive feat. But I don't think Inoue is going to push himself like he did this year, because of the physical toll that even he was saying, okay, yeah, this is the constant training camps to always ramping it up here again every couple of months without the rest at 31 years old. Still in the middle of my prime. We want to make sure we take care of this body properly. Might have to push you back a little bit. So I don't know if that means we're going to get a fight with Carrington this year. I would say that the best outcome I could see with Carrington winning the title, becoming featherweight champion, it could set up an early fight for next year. To where we get Shushu potentially getting 2 of the belts, Nakatani or Inoue getting 2 of the belts, and then everybody coming up and fighting at 126 early January. If we see Shushu Carrington even keep all the belts, because it ain't like at 126 at the top of the top. If he does want to go get more titles, it's going to be an easy road. It ain't. It definitely is not. I promise you it ain't. And so I really do want to see where this goes. But Shushu showed me This brother is a real dog. He can fight. More than fight, he's worth the hype. More than fight, he's worth the hype. That's what he is. He's worth the hype. He's worth the hype that we've been saying. He's worth the hype that I didn't even buy into as fervently as everybody else because it wasn't the impressive nature of there's something there, yes, but is the package really what the package is supposed to be? For an opponent that while it's again a higher level, you should be able to show me with this performance that there is a semblance of connectivity between your skill sets and those at which that we view as the highest of highs at 126 or beyond or below. And he showed it to me. There's a difference and it's real. And I can buy into it, no question about it. I can buy into it, and I know what you're saying. And congratulations, all that hard work, all that trouble, all of that legitimate, grounded out effort that we've seen character do over the years finally has come to fruition. One of the youngest champions in boxing right now has the world at his feet with options to go. And I'm telling you, he's going to be exciting to witness. I can't wait to see how it unfolds from here. But we still got so much more in store. We got people chatting in the comment section, like with Ryan Graves. What's going on with you? Welch, when are you going to do boxer tier list? And Shoo is exactly what I think he is. He is not on the level of his hype. That was a good win, though, and in great fashion. Yeah, now, granted, I believe that he is an elite fighter after this performance. And this is me, my personal sentiment. I'm not saying it's anyway, but I'm saying now when we talk about Ball, when we talk about Espinosa, when we talk about Lee and all that stuff, I can go and say, okay, yes, having him as a competitor against them, as a world champion now, I can see it as, yeah, he belongs there from a talent perspective. That's my thing. Do I think he's perfect? No. But I'm excited for what the future can hold for him. And also tier list. My tier list is pound for pound rankings. I thought that's how when it get top 10 pound for pound, that's kind of how I view my tier list. Top 3, that's quote unquote A plus. 4 to 5, you got A minus to B plus and all that stuff. And then going down the list is B's and up or high B's and up. If we want to go from a letter grade, but even still, it's like that's how normally I do. When I do tier lists, my tier list is based on your propensity and competitiveness for the pound for pound rankings. How close are you to that list, or how high are you on that list? So what kind of helps me give a gauge as to what you are as a fighter from A tier, B tier, C tier, whatnot, and all that stuff. Now, granted, it's a lot more fluid than maybe some other lists because it can performance by performance can elevate or downgrade how that viewership is. But that's the best thing I can do. But that's how I do my normal grading scale or tier list when it comes to the world of boxing. But if we can do one, I can try to make one for Friday. I think that actually would be a really good conversation, a good topic of discussion, a great show to do for Friday. I think we might just say that for Friday. That's a good topic to make for Friday. A tier list of boxers amongst all the world who belongs in A tier, B tier, and whatever tier from the standpoint of what we're in top 15. We can go to the top 15 boxers in the world and see how that goes through. And I'll be more than happy to have that abounding. But let me see. Rhoda, what's going on with you? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in to the show. The problem with Shakur is he does not take chances. I mean, he's never going to. But he did do some great work in this fight. Nonetheless, he can't become the face of boxing with that style. See, he can't become, or he might not become the definitive main face, but he's put himself in a position where he become a face. May not become the main face, but I think with this win, he put himself in a position where he can be a face in boxing that is all world recognizable. And that is a great step in the right direction for the cachet of Shakur Stevenson. Anyway, still smokes character. Oh, no, absolutely. No question. No question. Not in my mind. No question in my mind. No question in my mind. Now, depending on how Inoue handles 126 from a power perspective, it's going to be a difference. Yeah. But in terms of skill sets, yes, he's better than Shushu Carrington. He's been better than Shushu Carrington. This was a great performance by Shushu Carrington. Absolutely. But this opponent was not an indictment, or this opponent that he faced off against was not indicative on what he would be going up against with Inoue. He has to face somebody remotely. He has to face somebody as remotely close as Nonito Donaire. When it comes to championship aspirations, he has to face somebody as dangerous as Louis Neary. He's not even getting talked about in the same ways as Nakatani. Bam Rodriguez. He's not as good as Bam Rodriguez. And Bam Rodriguez is the people that are saying from a skill set perspective can give, in a way, a great, not even great, a phenomenal run for their money. And we saw, when from a speed perspective, how he handled dangerous punchers like with Ramon Cardenas. Got clipped, adapted, and all of a sudden the hooks that are some of the fastest hooks in all of boxing became obsolete. Like he's dealt with stuff that Shushu, if you go into the ring with that, and he's dealt with a outside boxer in Stephen Fulton, who at that point in time was also better than you in a more dominant division. It's not disrespecting Shushu. We're saying there are still levels, but you put yourself in a position to get to that level and say, okay, you can't compete. Not saying you're gonna win, but you at least can say, okay, I get why he deserves to belong in a conversation. I want to see that fight. Makes sense. Still think he's gonna lose, but credible to see nonetheless. Carrington is unbelievable. I do love him as a fighter. He's garnered a respect from me, absolutely. And he's a great boxer, just like Keyshawn Davis. The crazy thing is, Carrington wouldn't beat Nakatani. And like, you got an argument. See, and Shushu brought up a great point when it comes to Nakatani. It could have been just a bad night for Nakatani. It also could have been just a matchup nightmare. This is not a situation where Nakatani wasn't doing the right stuff. Nakatani got forced into, I have to throw with this guy because I can't keep him off of me. Hernandez was a fighter throughout his entire career. He is a tank. You can't hurt him, and he will not run out of stamina. He is imagine Jarrell Miller. But imagine, like, he's Jarrell Miller. And even the best boxers have struggled at times with Jarrell Miller because he just is relentless and will not come in, or he will not stop moving forward. And his punishment can indeed be absorbed and thrown back at you. That's what Hernandez is. It's a brawling style. Now, it's going to crack eventually, like we've seen with other boxers, but it's going to take a minute because he's just head down, uppercuts to the body, and it doesn't matter if you hit me, I'm just going to keep on throwing. So Rumatia is a similar situation. It is just the stylistic matchup and the physical ability to make that style work is something that, yeah, I'm a rock, I'm going to be a rock, and I'm going to keep on throwing rocks at you because I'm a rock. I'm not going to change just because I'm dealing with somebody else that is even more elite. Guess what? I'm going to still do what I do because I don't care who you are, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle. He's a bad matchup for anybody. Or rather, he's a hard matchup, even as simplistic as he is. Nakatani had to fight his way out of him because of the fact that he was boxing with him and he kept closing the distance. He was landing counter shots. He kept closing the distance. He was landing uppercuts through the guard and he kept closing the distance. He was throwing out the jab and it kept closing the distance to the point that now all that movement and all that effort that was winning him the early rounds, that's a lot of energy. When somebody just continues to throw downstairs to the body only. And you can't just block it all. Especially when you got thudding power like Hernandez. So, like, that was a struggle. Is that Nakatani going forward against anybody else? Maybe not. Maybe so. But it's a question. But it's not concrete. Is the question of his power going to be concerning? Yes. But could it be that Hernandez was just that tough? Not saying that it ain't a fact that Nakatani may not have the power like you thought he would bring up to 122 for 118, but still, his first fight was against a brother who, like, is one of the toughest, pure brawlers in the entire division. Is that indicative of what's going to be like for the rest of the division? Not sure. Concerns don't mean the absolute reality, but it does breed something to go and keep an eye on, which we definitely will. We definitely will. Absolutely, we will be interested in that. But let me see. Keyshawn has a better chance of becoming the face of boxing. You know what? Crazy enough, I'd say no. Crazy enough, I'd say no. I don't think he does. I don't think he does. And this is actually a perfect segue to go into the World of Championship rounds, to where now we can go and talk about everything and anything in the world of boxing and beyond. Yes, indeed. Come on. Bring it in. Get it going. It's time for the championship rounds. It's time to work. It's time to shine. It's time to make this show sublime with your input, your investment, your conversations, and your array of disseminations involving the world of sports and beyond. We got 30 minutes to an hour. We want to hear from you on anything involving the world of boxing and beyond. I think we started this a little bit too late, only because we had so much stuff to cover. We started the championship rounds a little bit later, but even still, we're going to have this show still be the best it can be. We want to hear from you, and please keep on sharing the show, keep on liking the stream, keep on telling everybody about what we got going on the hottest show in all of the globe, and please keep on going through. And if you can't support the channel, we got Cash App and PayPal, links down below in the description. If you'd like to support, would mean the world to me, no question about it, and we appreciate it so much, absolutely. But when it comes to the world of face of boxing, Shakur has put himself in a better position to be the face of boxing than Keyshawn Davis. Not because Keyshawn's style can't be something that everybody is clamoring to see. Yes, it can. But we have to look at it from the grander perspective. We are looking at Shakur in the same way that we had the early adaptation of Floyd Mayweather taking the helm of the world of boxing as his oyster. Even though stylistically, people were saying he wasn't nearly as exciting when he transitioned over into Money Mayweather. And Shakur Stevenson has the capability to still be a more destructive fighter if he again puts his foot on the gas. But he's not going to do it. But it's still, the destructive nature, it is there, inside. But the public view Shakur now. That's why this fight was so important. The public view Shakur as this is an attraction. Who can stop him? Not just how is he going to beat his opponent. Who can stop him? See, Mike Tyson, perfect example. Mike Tyson was a killer, a knockout artist, and a technician. Far and away, when he was at the top of the game, ranked at one point in time, pound for pound, number one. He deserved it. When he, with 89, it was 88, 89, when he won the championship and was at the peak of his powers, before all the stuff messed him up and lost with Don King, Robin Gibbons, cocaine, drugs, all that stuff, custom auto dying, all that. Then that window, short prime, my gosh, it was insane. And deservedly so. But he had everything, as well as he was far and away seen as, when it came to the technical ability, he was also amongst the best in the world. He had the killer instinct, the style, and the talent that made it a perfect storm, as well as the persona. Keyshawn's got the persona. He's got the killer instinct. He's got the talent to be able to make everybody say, oh man, he can put everybody down. But it's different. The X factor is, Mike Tyson had the talent. Who had the X factor additive of who can stop this man? Not just how will he beat his opponent. Keyshawn Davis, the question is, how will he beat his opponent? But it's not as much of a question of who can stop him. Shakur Stevenson, it's a question of who the world can stop this monstrous technical fighter, this robotic supercomputer of an opponent. Who the world can beat this guy? With one win, he snapped out of existence almost two separate weight classes of competitive fervor. Like that, like that. Without a moment's hesitation, he snapped two weight classes out of existence when it comes to the competitive fervor against him. That's a level of attraction where you just are so unstoppable that it's like, I gotta see what's gonna happen. How long can this run go? It's insane. Mind you, Terrence Crawford just got to that threshold. Who can stop this cat? After he beat Spence, it got there. Then he fought Matt, or it got there for a brief moment. Then he struggled against Matchmob. Everyone was like, oh my gosh, okay, maybe he can't. Maybe he is human. Then when he beat Canelo in a whitewash affair, it got to the zenith. Okay, yeah, who in the world can stop this brother? Who in the world can stop this monster walking among us? He retired afterwards, but if you had seen him fighting afterwards, he would have been the biggest face in the world. When you translate from how can you beat people to now who can beat you, that's a different question that carries a different weight. And that's a question that makes it so that everybody looks at you in a way that you, strictly by your dominance, you are the attraction. Though your style may not be the most exciting venture, your talent all of a sudden pushes you to where everybody's saying, oh my gosh, this is a spectacle. The world can stop this brother when he beats somebody that everybody respected in a way that was so dominant. How he shouldn't have belonged in the ring. That's different. An all world level guy. Shakur can carry that beyond just multiple divisions. He's in a better position with the cachet, with this specific event as he headlined, as well as the propensity of big name fights that are all revolving around his name alone within the next 3 years. He's got a better shot at becoming one of, or at least closer to the face of boxing outright than Keyshawn Davis, only because Keyshawn is just not at that level. Now, once he gets a win that puts him up there, once he gets that win, that one win that all of a sudden changes the narrative of what people see of him. Not just from the standpoint of he's exciting, but from the standpoint of who can beat him. Once we start getting to that territory, I can have a better conversation of, okay, he can be one of the faces of boxing, absolutely. But the face, I don't think he can get there. He can be one of them. But he can't, at this point in time, I don't see him as ever being the face that represents this sport. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying right now, I don't see it. We're going to find out if it does take place, though, because I can't wait to see how this thing goes through. But his style and instincts, they're incredible. He's just got to cross that threshold of not having people ask, how are you going to beat this guy this time? But rather, who can beat you? Because now you're seen as bigger than just a threat that can be exciting. You're seen as an indomitable force that in and of itself is a spectacle. Andre the Giant, perfect example. Everybody loved Andre the Giant, the eighth wonder of the world. It wasn't of how he can beat you. It was the fact of who can stop this monster. Brock Lesnar, who can stop this monster? The Undertaker, who can stop the Phenom, the Phenom, the dead man, the cornerstone of the WWE. One of the greatest we've ever seen. Who can, when you cross that, you get into a category of, yeah, this is what the face of boxing can be. It can happen. Same thing with Canelo. So, but let me see. Shakur, also Von Greenhill. How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in to the show with us on today. Appreciate you coming out and supporting on our show. Hopefully you leave a like on the stream. Hopefully you keep on sharing the show. We love to hear your thoughts and opinions. We want to see everything you got to say on today. But if Shakur doesn't go back to 135, I see Abdullah Mason taking over 135. If Tank doesn't come back, yeah, he does. Most likely, and there's some real tests. Murataya is now a big threat. Abdullah Mason currently is the leading candidate to go for undisputed. But both of them are very talented and dangerous fighters that are the favorites, in my opinion, to be able to take this whole division by storm. Schofield's in the conversation, but he got to get the title first. He got to fight without getting sick. Which, I'm not holding that against him. I'm just saying he's got to do that and get an opportunity that Tevin Farmer win was supposed to get him and capitalize on it. Then we potentially got a three-headed race, but even still, we have options that will be very exciting. Shoot, Shakur Foster, if he moves up to 135, got ourselves another contender. So I would love to see it. But yeah, I think he goes and he takes it. Let me say, Keyshawn can quickly become more popular than Shakur. It's possible. Like I said, it's gonna be hard though. As much as he's a exciting knockout fighter, mind you, I put this in the same perspective. Devin Haney was more popular than David Benavidez, or at least more well known. And David Benavidez was doing work for years and years and years, was even constantly in synonymous nature with one of the biggest names in the world, the face of boxing, Canelo Alvarez, and we were still having more people talk about Devin Haney than anything else. When it came to, you put those two in brackets of conversations, Devin Haney got talked about all the time. Good or bad, more well known. And he is nowhere close to as much of an exciting fighter, a destructive killer, as David Benavidez. Benavidez got killers and names he's been killing against. Doesn't always work that the instinct doesn't, that the style and instinct make you automatically, hey, if you win, you're going to get more exciting. It's another X factor. You got to become an insurmountable odd to help get to that threshold. Canelo became an insurmountable odd to the world of boxing at 168. Tank became an insurmountable odd at 135. Crawford became an insurmountable odd at 147. And then became an insurmountable odd for boxing as a whole at 168 when he beat Canelo. Usyk became an insurmountable odd after he beat Tyson Fury. Those are the metrics, or that caliber of crowning. You are the mountain to beat amongst everybody. In a way, an insurmountable odd. You got to get there. Right now, Shakur is looking like one of the more insurmountable odds across multiple divisions. That's why, and that threshold has not been put on Keyshawn Davis yet. If it does, we got a conversation. But as of right now, I don't see it as applied to him yet. He can get there, but not yet, at least not for me. Imagine if Keyshawn knocks out everyone at 140. If he knocks everybody at 140, okay, now we got ourselves a conversation. He does that. He goes through and becomes undisputed at 140. We got ourselves and beats Tio in the process as well. Hey, we got ourselves a great conversation. I'm down for that. Let me see. You think people won't say he's the face? I do. Again, he's got to become that. It's not the capacity. It's the work to get there. What you got to do something to get you in that conversation. Keyshawn Davis has the ability. He just hasn't done the thing to get him there yet. He has, but he can't cross that threshold of becoming insurmountable. Once you do that, now conversation for the face of boxing can come into play. And I've even said before, he can be one of the faces. That potential's still there. And this is on the right track to get there. But he's got to keep on doing this and do it in a fashion against people that make that insurmountable odds type of title apply to him, which he can do, and I'm excited to see it. But we're going to find out as his career unfolds. It's exciting nonetheless. But let me see. But excuse me, what will people say if Keyshawn stops Tio if they fight? If he stops Tio, then yes. Okay. Yeah, this brother elevates up. Now, it's probably going to be held against him to some degree as damaged goods, quote unquote, because of the way that Shakur Stevenson beat him. If we see Keyshawn Davis beat him. But I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm going to say this for me. I know how good Teofimo Lopez is. But if you knock him out, not just knock him down with a flash KO, with everything going right for him, in terms of Teofimo Lopez, and you knock him out, yeah, that's different. Now, that's different. That's different. That's something that'll turn some heads. That will turn some heads. Just like this fight with Jermaine Ortiz turned some heads with what we saw with Keyshawn and Ortiz compared to what Teofimo Lopez did to Ortiz, you knock him out. That turns some heads. That turns heads for you and for Shakur. Because you did something that Shakur couldn't do even with the dominant performance. You could have knocked him out. But you didn't. I did. And I won every round thus far. If it goes into that type of dominant affair, that would turn some heads, and that would get people to go through and talk for real. Okay, we might have somebody that can actually take that spot. Is he one of the four faces of boxing that we gotta start taking serious? It can start. It can happen. It can happen. It's gonna be a long road, but it can happen. Let me see. He was the first to start Jermaine Ortiz. Yes, he was. Well, hold on. Was he the first? Let me fact check that real quick. How many times was? How many times was Jermaine Ortiz knocked out? Was he knocked out once? I thought he was knocked out. Was he knocked out once or twice? Let me see. 23, 3-1. What was his record? What was his record? Who would have? I mean, we're fact checking. I'm sorry. For those of you that are listening, we're doing fact checking on the career of Jermaine Ortiz real quick to see what his knockouts were. Okay, no, excuse me. I'm sorry. You're right. You were right. Keyshawn was the first guy to knock him out in the fight. And yeah, knocked him down. I think it might have been the first guy to knock him down actually as well. Yeah, I'm looking through the resume. No, he wasn't the first guy to knock him down. Joseph Ordona knocked him down. I'm sorry, Joseph Adorno knocked him down in their majority decision draw back in 2021. But outside of that, he hasn't been down, I believe, since up until this fight with Keyshawn Davis, where he also knocked him out. So, yeah, incredibly impressive. Nonetheless, absolutely. Let me see. Keyshawn is more spectacular. Shakur, no, he's a Mayweather at the end. No, yeah, he is. Shakur is a now, Shakur's hands, if they are as healthy as we're seeing now, he can have a little bit of both for the pretty boy era of Floyd and the Money Mayweather era of Floyd Mayweather. He can have a little bit of both. He can. It's just a matter of, will he lean into that more dominant side a little bit more? Now that he's more comfortable for the second fight in a row, okay, my hands will hold up. And I don't have to worry about breaking them. Because I found the answer. Floyd helped me find the answer. So we're good. If that's the case, we could see a little bit more aggressive tendencies happen as the career goes forward. Potential. Not saying it's guaranteed. But yeah, he does fight more so in the cleaner, pretty boy-esque style. Hit and not get hit. It's not bad, but that's what he is. That's what he does. That's his MO. And so, yeah, Keyshawn's more spectacular, but Shakur's a better fighter. Keyshawn's absolutely more spectacular, but Shakur's absolutely a better fighter. And if Shakur fought him, he would beat him. He beat him clean. If Shakur fought Keyshawn Davis, he beat him clean. Absolutely. Let me see. The Typer boy, what's going on with you? How you doing? Typer, thank you for tuning into the show. We're so happy that you're here with us on today. Appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully you're enjoying the live. Hopefully you're leaving a like on the video. We do this every 3 days out the week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday on our show. We appreciate all of you tuning in and supporting. And please keep on liking the stream. Shameless plugs. Got to do them because it's the only way we can pay some bills. Although we can do it, and also we want to make sure we can grow this community. So please, keep on coming in and enjoying the show. Absolutely. You say that fight was incredible between Keyshawn and Ortiz, as well as Shakur versus Teal. Yeah, all the fights were incredible. We got so many more to cover on the night, no question about it. And we're so glad that you're here tuning in with us on our show. Let me see. Armin Rhoda, in a way, has the ability to become the face of boxing if he destroys Carrington in America. Yeah, well, I mean, he should have already been one of the four faces. No question. Because he beat Stephen Fulton overseas. He came over to the States 4 times. He's won 4 times. That got a knockout in all 4 of them. Beat Roman Cardenas in one of the most viral fights that we had of last year. That everybody in America was saying, "Oh, wait a minute, this cat might be something serious." Shoot, even my own family was like, "Yo, who is this brother? He's a killer. He's a dog." It's after Nakatani, I think we'll start to get that threshold of global acclaim. Because everybody, if you say that you don't care about the smaller weight classes, everybody is at least privy and knowledgeable that that fight is a fight that we want to see happen. Casual and hardcore fans are getting geared up for Nakatani versus Inoue over in May. So I'm telling you right now, that fight can jump the shark to get that transcendent global appeal finally back in favor. We're going to see if it happens, absolutely. Anyways, already on his way to becoming the face of boxing? Yes, he is. Absolutely. Let me see. Boxing Pro, he is young. He must make more, Shakur, in terms of make more noise than Shakur. Yeah, he does. He does. And that's not a slight against him. To be clear, I am not saying that Keyshawn Davis does not have the ability to become one of the most notarized names in the globe of boxing. He just has to do more with his career. And that's going to come with his activity and the performances and the names. Like anybody's career. So it can happen, no question about it. And we do want to see it. But let me see. I don't think Shakur would beat Keyshawn because Keyshawn knows Shakur. There's a difference in knowing somebody and fighting somebody. We had seen many a sparring partner fight against each other in a live fight scenario. And it wasn't close. Mike Tyson boxed his own sparring partner, 6'4", about 260. White guy, big, had decent hand speed, some good punches on him. Had dealt with what the physicality of Mike Tyson was. And early in his career, they were actually in a position where they were fighting each other. And he fought him. And Mike Tyson knocked him out and beat him. Dominated that fight. This is not, I'm not, now, this is a higher level of competition versus competition, absolutely. But it's not, it's a difference. When both of y'all are in their prime, it is, you know them and you can't beat them. But in fight, it's a little bit different. And I'm in Rhoda, Tarver and Roy. Roy lost to Tarver. And I hear you. Absolutely. Roy lost to Tarver, lost to Roy. I'm sorry. Roy lost to Tarver, knocked him out in the second fight. First fight, however, of Roy Jones Jr. that was on the downtrend, out of his prime because of losing muscle, going from heavyweight to lightweight to immediately fight against the world champion Antonio Tarver. He beat him. Second time Tarver fought him, okay, then he knocked him out. But it wasn't just a given. And everybody recognizes that if it was Roy Jones Jr. without the issue of cutting muscle and losing the physicality and speed that allowed for him to do what he would have done, he would have mopped Tarver. Even with Tarver being in the way. Even at that point in time, everybody knew Tarver against Roy is a fun fight. Nobody was thinking that Tarver was a better or on-pace fighter with Roy Jones Jr. Nobody. And so, a little bit different in that regard. Now, I'm not saying that's the case all the time. I'm not saying that's the case all the time now. I'm not saying that's the case all the time. I mean, just as recently, doggone it, who was it? Not Inoue. No, Inoue is better than fight. Not Charlo. Who was that fight? What was that? Doggone it. It was, dang it. Hold on. There was another one. There was one that was this year. Last year. Dang it. Who was it? Chat, help me out, chat. Who the world was the fighter? That somebody last year fought their sparring partner. Who the world was it? Who the world was it? Voter, thank you. You're hitting the already. Thank you. Tank versus Welch. That's an example of it can't work out. That's an example that it can't work out when you spar against somebody and then you fight them. And now, yeah, okay, I know what you're dealing with, and I'm good enough to do it and beat you with it. I'm not saying this all the time. Sometimes it's hit or miss. I don't use, you sparred with them so you know what you're getting into and you know how to beat them. Because in fight, it's a completely different game. It's always been a completely different game. Dealing with that same brother when there's something, when money's on the line. Now I'm not trying to improve you. I'm trying to take you out. Straight up, it's a different game. Sometimes, yeah, it's close. Sometimes it's not close. But I know for a fact, for me, not saying that's for you, but for me, when looking at Shakur and Keyshawn, if they ever fought, though they said that they won't fight each other, if they ever did, Shakur, he's way too good. He's way too good. And Keyshawn Davis, if he needs to beat Shakur, would have to be perfect. And he can't be perfect for that long. He cannot be perfect for that long. If just looking at him as a fighter, he cannot be perfect for that long. That's not a knock against him. That's what it takes to beat Shakur. And Keyshawn, he can't do that. And so I would have Shakur win. I would absolutely have Shakur win. But thank you for the chats to kind of help me jog my memory. Let me see. Yo, Clutch. What's going on? Yo, Clutch, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show with us on today on this championship rounds edition of the Welch Report. As we're at the tail end of our show, 30 minutes to an hour. We're about at the hour mark to go and have your thoughts and conversations be heard. Anything involving the world of boxing and beyond, we want to hear from you. Movie, sports, television, video games, all of that stuff. We want to hear it. We want to see it. We want to recognize it. We want to enjoy it. Absolutely. So come on, be a part of it. Keep on liking the show. Keep on chatting. Let's see what your thoughts have to say on today. Clutch. So who should be his next opponent? Because I think he beats Ben easy, so he shouldn't waste time on it. Ooh, that's a good question. That's a good question. In fact, let me actually pull up that clip real quick because I did want to bring up that potential opportunity. That goes back to another a further issue that we had in regards to further implementing a potential opposition against Shakur Stevenson, because we were asking who can beat Shakur, who in the world can beat Shakur. We might have a brother in the works like with Conor Benner. He called out in the center of the ring, and I'll show you that whole interaction right here in the old picture to have you be able to see exactly what the potential spiciness of a fight could be between the two.
But hold up. It's a fighter in here right now, and he motivated me tonight too. Where's Conor Ben? Hey, Conor Ben, we can get it banging, boy. We can get it banging, boy. I want that same rehydration clause that you put on Eubank Jr., and I want to fight.
You're too small for me, bro. You're too small for me. You're tiny. You're tiny, bro. You're tiny, bro.
My skills is too much.
You can't punch.
Okay.
You can't keep me off you. I'll rough you up.
We're going to see.
I'll pull you down.
Sign the contract. Sign the contract. Let's make it happen.
Hey, Turkey, let's get this fight done. We can do it next.
Yeah, you don't scare me.
I'm scared of you. You think I'm scared of you? You think I'm scared of you? You can't box shit, man.
Let's make it happen.
I'm scared of you,
Let's make it happen. We don't even got to keep talking.
And see, look, hey, that went over about 2 minutes straight up. If that fight did take place, I'm gonna tell you this right now, buddy. I pay to see that. I would just for the sheer fact of intensity, and I know what that would be. That would be fun. That would be fun. That would be a fun fight. Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. That would be a joy to see. And Conor Ben, especially we want to say if somebody can hurt or have the explosive speed to be able to actually commit to doing stuff on the inside at an elevated weight class, we could see it. That wouldn't be bad. But I'd still favor Shakur in that fight. I'd still favor Shakur. Be clear. Be clear on that, absolutely. I would still favor Shakur Stevenson in that fight against the likes of versus Conor Ben. That's no question. But Lord knows when it comes to when it comes to no, I'm also trying to make sure that wasn't that was part of the ring. That was not my. Hold on. The what? Dang it. Okay, so for those of you, apparently I can't play that type of talk when it comes to showing the interaction between Shakur and Devin Haney. I don't know why they would see some of these copyright restrictions. I don't understand. Either way, we'll edit it and we'll make it happen nonetheless. But you got to hear it. You got to see it. And you saying, hey, buddy, you saying that boy will be food. I'm with it. I'm with it. That'd be food. He'd be food. Conor Ben would be food for Shakur if we're going to look at it from a technical perspective. But would it be so much fun to watch the more fervent aggression from Conor Ben work to try to hammer the body and head of Shakur Stevenson? More specifically, the what we saw with Espinoza would be on a more aggressive scale with better pop. No, again, it's not as technically gifted or diverse as a Teo, but it is more deliberate and a lot less, I don't want to say slick and technical. But ain't gonna be a whole bunch of, there's gonna be thinking, there's gonna be planning, but it's gonna be straight. I'm coming in. Explosive jab to the body, immediately go throwing with the right hand. If I see you jumping back, I'm gonna go and keep on moving forward. I'm not gonna back up in my own regard. Unless you actually start landing that jab. Now, if that jab starts landing, we got ourselves another conversation. But even still, I'm going to push the pedal to the metal, like I did against Eubanks. First and second fight. So, if that's the case, boy, that'd be a fun fight. Let me see. It would be fun, but the winner is obvious. Everything they're going to say is the same things they said when Teo was announced. Same style and just about the same results. Yeah, I mean, it would be I think it would be a more fervent one-sided affair, but it is notice, the one thing about this fight that would be more exciting. We saw Teo every time he kept on coming in and trying to land with that straight right downstairs to the body and stepping over his foot, he would always step back, and then when he would have Shakur backing up, even if he got landed, he gave up ground again and reset that distance and kept getting reset. We could see Conor Ben push more even after getting caught to try to not give up that ground going up against the likes of Shakur Stevenson. If he feels that Shakur doesn't have pop, we can maybe expect him to say, okay, I'm going to be more of a bulldog. And even if I do get touched, I'm not going to reset myself. I'm going to keep on staying right here and inevitably force this fight into us a pay-to-like war. Now, if he's still going to lose, I think so, but it's going to be a more fervent effort, especially with the trains that we have Conor Ben under, which thank God is a lot better than Teo and a lot better than Lopez Jr. Thank the Lord. We could see some potentially stiffer opposition coming from Conor Ben. Not saying he's going to win. We're looking for how the fight could be. And that, from the build-up to the trash talk to everything that's going to be brought up about this fight, I guarantee you, and the fight itself, yeah, it's going to be a fun watch because that style creates a cat and mouse game, but it's a cat in Conor Ben that's a lot more reckless than the likes of Teofimo Lopez. Hence, two things are going to happen. Either he'll get the punch that he's looking for, or he'll walk into counter shots that will hurt him badly. Now that we know that Shakur does have real power at 140. So, either way, you're going to get some damage done in a fight that will quench the palate of, I want something to make me jump out my seat, or ooh and ah. We can see that. And so I would love to see that fight. Absolutely would. Let me see, the Boxing Pro, he has to unify Shakur if he wants to be a legend. In terms of Keyshawn Davis, now we want to see that. That would be a good gosh. Imagine the storyline there. Oh, Lord, that would be one of the biggest fights of the year. Keyshawn Davis versus Shakur for the unified championship of the world at 140. Ooh, buddy, that would sell some tickets. That'd be huge. Friend turns foe. Respect goes out the window. everything. Oh, that'd be a good fight. If that's what you're talking about, that would be really, really good. I'd rather see him fight against Devin Haney rather than Keyshawn versus Haney. Really? Are you talking about Shakur? You'd rather see Conor Ben versus Devin Haney? No, I'm sorry. When you say him, who are you talking about? Are you talking about Keyshawn versus Devin Haney? Or are you talking about Conor Ben versus Devin Haney? Both of whom have called out Devin Haney, saying that they'll mess you up and all that stuff. If I did see Keyshawn versus Haney would be a very interesting matchup. I don't know if just like I have, I'm trying to think. Yeah, just like I have Shakur beating Keyshawn Davis if they fought, I got just like I have Shakur beating Keyshawn if they ever fought, I would have Devin Haney beating Keyshawn Davis as well. 147. I would have Devin Haney beating Keyshawn Davis as well if they ever fought against each other. But it would be a lot better of a fight because it would be a whole lot better than what we saw with Brian Norman Jr. Keyshawn Davis is a better fighter than Brian Norman. Better technically, better patience, better speed. Defense is better as well. Now, dealing with that type of speed in the jab, that's going to be interesting. But he could handle the boxing ability of Devin Haney, even though it's a lot higher, better than Brian Norman Jr. The threat of the power is always going to be there, absolutely. He's got some good size and length on him from the standpoint of reach and with the straights that he want to throw, that he would need to throw. He can do it. But it'll be a hard task, no question about it. Let me see. He kills Conor, but it's a funny fight. I think with their style. Yeah, absolutely. He beats him. Boy, it'll be fun to see. He never unifies Shakur. Sadly, he won't, but I would hope. Not sadly. They got to bond with each other. Shakur helped them out of stinking doggone suicide. So I get it. I understand it. But I do want to see that fight. And I guarantee you, if anybody breaks that bond of crossing that line, and if we going to get a fight, it would be Keyshawn Davis. If people start talking too much, that Shakur would beat him. And people going to say Shakur will beat his butt. He's going to take offense to that. And he's going to be like, yeah, okay, I'm not going to let that slide. Don't be taking, it won't take me $500 million to say, let's get it on. Because I ain't going to be disrespected in Keyshawn's eyes. If he does cross that line, we can see it. But let me see. I'd rather see Shakur versus Haney because it's someone else that can challenge him more mentally. He hasn't fought anyone that can think and stay 2 moves ahead of him. Yeah. Now, I'll be the first to say I've been on paper with this multiple times. That is the worst fight I could have. And I don't want to see it. Now, the reason why is not because of what you think. From a pugilistic perspective, we will be dealing with, if we want to say who truly is the best technician in boxing, point blank period, that would be the answer. Shakur versus Devin Haney. But from an entertainment standpoint, buddy, people still, after this performance, after the Zepeda performance, people are still saying that Shakur is a boring fighter. Devin Haney knocked down Brian Norman Jr. and indeed was putting paws on him for the first half of the fight. Second half of the fight, kind of clinched up and really just secured the win. But that fight would be 2 styles and 2 people that people say they wouldn't pay money for. You go to sleep when you watch either of them. That's what's been the stigma. You think that's going to get any better for 2 defensive counterpunchers that rely on the jab and timing, countering. Two defensive counterpunchers that rely on their reach to box you from the outside. Who's going to engage? Who the one's going to throw shots? Like, it's literally going to be. And Teo was throwing And he was getting exposed to have openings to get a jab landed on him. Absolutely. But Devin Haney, he's going to be fighting on the back foot. Shakur Stevenson is going to slowly fight on the front foot. And it's going to be this. Pop. Coming through Devin Haney with that hand down, similar to what he did to Brian Norman Jr. Walking through, pop. That's it. Then walking through, pop. And then going on the back foot, rotating out the center of the ring. Shakur's going to have to be the aggressor. Can you believe Shakur's going to have to walk him down? We're going to have to see a fight where Shakur is the offensive fighter. And he's got to chase Devin Haney. And both of them got some of the highest accuracy in boxing, but also some of the lowest outputs in boxing. You want to be entertained? You want to have, if you love purist, you'll be sitting down, you'll be grilling on this for this night for 5 hours straight. Yes, because but if you just anybody else, buddy, it's gonna be like, I turn this off. It might get to the very fear that we have with Shakur and Teo, but that's gonna come to fruition if we get Devin Haney and Shakur. That's the only reason why. That's the only reason why. The boy, gosh, I want to see that fight, but at the same time, I'm horrified because that fight may be a super fight, yes, that will bore the mess out of everybody with a high potential that nobody's going to want to engage with each other. Oh, gosh. Oh, Lord. And the backlash would be insane. That would be, oh, boy. I want to see it. I do. But that fear, man, that fear would be insane. Let me say, that card will be stacked. No, it will. If that fight gets made, that card will be absolutely stacked. Let's see, but I don't understand the objective Shakur. Or I don't understand objective Shakur. We want to be legend or just money. Look, Crawford, he is a legend, unifying 3 categories. Shakur's object is that he wants legacy. Be clear. Be clear. Shakur's not ducked anybody, to my knowledge. We've covered ducking on this show. Shakur will face off against real competent fighters. Jamal Herring, when he was young, was the dominant champion at 130, beat him. Oscar Valdez, hard-hitting Mexican-style warrior. That was a real hard fighter to beat. Beat him. We have witnessed Shakur be great against the best of the best. He is not ducking smoke. Most people are ducking him. Shakur has stated it's about legacy. He is following in Crawford's footsteps of, as a mentor and as a fighter who's been great, what's it take to be great? Not just technically, but throughout your career. He's doing that. His object, he wants to be great. He's fighting people that can make him great, like Teofimo Lopez. Absolutely. It's the best win of his career. This is the career-defining win as it stands right now. To elevate him into, okay, this man can be a top 3 in the world. He's already a 4-division champion. Unified now with the lineal title around his waist. The man that beat the man that beat the man. With 147 in his sights and undisputed also in his sights. Shoot, at 135, undisputed is also there. He can unify by going back down, becoming undisputed at 135, go back up to 140, continue the dominance, and then go back up to 147 and start his new life where Devin Haney's at and keep on rising. So if you want to understand the objective of Shakur's career, it is driven by legacy. And he wants to go and be great. And he will be great. Mark my words, he will be great. No question about that, he will be great. You can look at the stylistic nature, I don't like it. You can say it's boring, absolutely. You can say that he ain't entertaining, no question. But you can't say that he's not looking to do his best against the best of the best. And so he is, and with it stands right now, 28 years old, 4-division champion, unified right now. This cat is on his way to be in that legacy talk that he wants to be. He's going to get there. Mark my words, he will get there. He will indeed get there. And he'll become a legend in his own right. And I can't wait to see it. Let me see. Usyk, in a way, that's champion. No, they are. And they absolutely are. Yes, they absolutely are. And Shakur is doing that work now. In fact, with this win, he's putting himself in a position where you can't ignore him because he can bring you the big dough and he's got the belts that you want. And he's got Turkey in the ring behind him. So it's like you won't get your money if you fight him. And you might not get any more money unless you fight him. Because of the fact that he's now one of the bigger draws at this division that everybody wants to see and test their own skill sets against. They really do. They really do. Let me see. Shakur just cries the whole day. Shakur says, anyway, he's on the same level as Ryan Garcia. Again, with the viewpoint of how he sees boxing skewed, I don't like it. He doesn't think Ray Robinson was all that great. Ali, from a respect perspective, yeah, he loves him, but as a talent, doesn't seem as high. Again, his models are Floyd Mayweather, Terrence Crawford, others that are of that ilk, where he sees your skill sets today. What can they do? He doesn't think that they could translate like they did back, what they did back then to now. But I beg to differ. But that's just me. His opinion's his opinion, even if we disagree. It's talent, though. You can't deny. Let me see. Barry, what's going on with you? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. We're so happy to be here with us on today. Please keep on liking, stream. Keep on sharing this show to the masses. We are in the last. We passed the 3 hour mark, so we gotta do the last call of this show. We gotta do last call for the world of the championship rounds. The last couple of chats and questions. We're gonna give you about 5-10 minutes just about before we go and end off this show and get ready for Thursday afternoon. And so we're gonna go and let you all enjoy your afternoon and enjoy the rest of your day. It's been a phenomenal time, but please keep on liking the stream, keep on sharing the show, keep on driving conversation. But this is the last call for the championship rounds. We want to hear from you on any other questions involving the world of boxing and beyond that you would like to discuss. Don't leave it up to you to talk about it all, absolutely. And so we're going to see what you all got to say right here, right now. Let me see. Barry, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in. So happy that you're here with us. Shakur is boring, bro. I was entertained last night. Now, it wasn't in the knockout perspective, but it wasn't a bad watch last night. It wasn't the same, knockout that we saw like Keyshawn Davis or Shushu Carrington, but I'm fairly pleased. Hey, for me, I was fairly pleased with it. But you think he's boring? Hey, he might be boring, but buddy, he's hard to beat. I'm tired of paying for sparring matches, bro. Hey, man, at this point in time, somebody's got to get him. Somebody's got to beat him. He makes everybody else look so rudimentary. It's a testament. It's insane. You may not like it, but boy, he as a boxer, boy, yeah, he's something special. Let me see. Boxing boring and don't unify. He always change category. Unified guy. And then we're going to find out. We hope that at 135 he does unify. We hope. He says he's moving down. Or that's what the speculation is, moving down. We're going to see if he unifies. If he does unify, great. I love to see it. I do want to see. He's got a lot of tests and a lot of people. Schofield, Mason, Murataya. He can get all three of them he can beat. And I think he'll go down and beat them. I really, truly do. So we're going to see how it goes. So we want it. We're probably going to get it. This fight with Teo, yeah, it's too big to ignore. Of course, if I'm Shakur, yeah, I'm taking that fight. I get it. Because he wants to make his stamp and make his case. I'm here and I belong with the best of the best. He did it. Now he can move like he wants to move and get everything else involved. He can get everything else involved. So, I'm excited for it, no question about it. Let me see. Go. He's not if he don't unify. We're gonna find out. Don't be surprised if he does unify the division. 135 or 140. Don't matter where. But he's on his way to being phenomenal. Incredible. Let me see. Modern day boxing is horrible. We need wars. I mean, we got wars. We gonna have wars. We got wars. We do. But every fight ain't gonna be a war. Now, it's your preference, and I love a good scrap, absolutely. You want a war? Wilder versus Chisora. They just had their first face-off. Wilder versus Chisora. That's a war. That right there is a war. That's a war, no question. So we got wars coming. Barrios versus Ryan Garcia, that might be a war. Nakatani versus Inoue, that might be a war. We got them coming, don't worry. They on the way. Let me see, Crawford, yes, he's a killer and a finisher. You have a crack to the public eye, absolutely. For me, he is top 3 GOAT. He's in my top 10, so I'm there with you. You waste your money. I just upgrade my fire. Hey, man, hey, look, do what you got to do. Absolutely do what you got to do. But let me see, is there anything else anybody wants to say in the world of boxing conversation? Like I said, this is the last call. We got about 5 minutes left before we go and pack this show up. Let me see, real quick. I know Ryan Graves said something way earlier in the show that we didn't get to touch on only because the Shakur talk was so prominent. But Josh Kelly beating Murtazali at 154 has now shooken up this landscape of the division. Now we got ourselves a champion, and one of the dominoes has fallen and has been moved in the world of essentially super welterweight. So now, with that being the case, get ready. Sebastian Fundora versus Tim Tszyu. That now has gotten moved to March. So we got ourselves the pace of this division is getting ready to pick up real quick. I mean, really quick. Everybody's moving. Everybody's winning and losing, and everybody's on pace to have something be known. And we got that. We got Virgil Ortiz still coming down the pipe. We have, like I said before, on this regime, Tim Tszyu versus Fundora, as you can see right here, March, I believe it's March 28th? Can I read it? Yeah, March 28th right now. Got moved and rescheduled. It's going to happen next month. So we got 154. He's about to have a whole lot of stuff. Josh Kelly, hey man, Josh Kelly put Murtazali down, got knocked down himself, and still was able to come and pull out a win. And the latest age, he boxed beautifully in this fight. Murtazali, he's got some stuff he got to work on. I'm not gonna lie, he's still a killer, still a massive threat. And he's still one punch changed the effect of that fight and the momentum of that fight. It did, but boy, this is like Josh Kelly. He proved me wrong. I was wrong about that fight. He proved me wrong. Josh Kelly proved me wrong. And now we got Boots versus Kelly. If we don't get the likes of Fundora versus, or if we don't get the likes of Boots versus Virgil Ortiz, if that fight does indeed fall through, we could get the opportunity of Boots versus Josh Kelly for a title. Or Xander Zayas, because Xander Zayas won the championship as well against Boss. And so now we have a unified champion in Zayas. We got Fundora and Thurman. One of them's going to have the belt. We got Boots and Virgil as potential options. And you still got the likes of Adams, Boachuk, and Majimov, who just came back and looked like he's got a new style that has everybody very excited. We got some movement, y'all. I'm telling you, we got some movement in this division that everybody needs to pay attention to. Because it's legit. It's legit in the way that has us all clamoring for what the next steps in boxing can be. And I know I'm excited for it. I know absolutely I am so excited to see where it can go from here. But real quick, as we end off this show, is there anything else anybody wants to say? Last comments or concerns for what this show can be as I'm reading through you all's chats and all of your conversations. It's going back down. Nunez versus Never. Oh, yeah, I forgot that. That's happening this one. What is that? That's what, the 21st? That's what the Nunez versus Neverete on the 21st. I think that's the 21st. That's going to be a great fight. Oh, gosh. That's going to be a great fight. That's going to be very exciting to see how it goes through. And we, hey, look, I'm telling you, I can't wait for him to go up to 135. I can't hear him to go. Wait, I'm sorry, the 28th. Not. Thank you for the correction. 28th, not the 21st. The 28th of this month is when that fight's happening. That fight is. Ooh, that's gonna be so good. That's gonna be such a good war. We've been keeping up with Neverete for years now. I went from hating that brother to loving that brother, and boy, if you want a war, that's gonna be a war. That's going to be an absolute war, and I can't wait to see it. But let me see. What happened to Keith Thurman and versus Fundora? They never rescheduled the fight. They did. In fact, you might have just gotten away from the stream. Let me actually pull up the newfound date. It is the 28th. I repeat. March 28th of this year has been the announced rescheduled date for Keith Thurman versus Sebastian Fundora. March 28th. Sebastian Fundora and Keith Thurman are going to be fighting for the title, one of the 4 belts at 154. Finally, after a fight that was supposed to happen months ago, but the hand injuries of Fundora caused that fight to be delayed, and they will officially come to a new date, and it is March 28th for the World Championship at 154. That's when it is going down. Again, I'll let you see the poster one more time so you can see exactly what's going on. March 28th is when this fight's going to be done. This is part of the magazine themselves. That fight's going. It has been rescheduled. It is committed, and we're here for it, and we're excited to see it. No question about it. Absolutely, and we can't wait to see how it goes through. But we got to get them see. That's great. I'm looking forward to that fight. All right, look, we got a lot of fights looking forward to, and a lot of potential matches that we're going to cover come these next coming months, coupled with stuff that we already know, like with Anyway versus Nakatani. We could get Boost and Virgil before that, or rather, right in between that same month. We can get another unification at 154. Shoot, we can see Shakur go up and fight another big name at 140, like Gary Antoine Russell, and unify the belts right in there. Or go against Abdullah Mason at 135. There's a plethora of options that we're going to have, and we can't wait to discuss them with you all. Absolutely. But we got to get out of here. I got to go because we got to make sure we can prep for tomorrow and have this show be great and grand, or rather prep for Thursday and be able to get do the clips and do the notes and all that stuff. It's a one-man band, so I got to come through and make all this stuff for you all to consume and enjoy. As a content creator, no question about it. But we got to get out of here. We're going to let you all enjoy your afternoon, and we're going to end this show off with a bang. So with all of that being said, this has been another episode of The Watchable with me, your host, Jean-Luc Welch. We thank you so much for tuning in and listening on this Tuesday edition of The Watchable with me, your host, Jean-Luc Welch, on the hottest show in all of the globe. Thank you all for supporting and tuning in. If you would, please leave a like on the stream before you get out of here. Keep on commenting your thoughts and opinions about what you liked or didn't like about the show so we can keep on improving. Subscribe to the channel. Come on and join the empire. Come on and be a part of the greatest place on earth and the greatest community in all of the world. If you can, please hit the notification bell so you know when we post right here on YouTube and on every podcasting platform imaginable. Rate us 5 stars wherever you listen to podcasts. Thank you to everybody who came through and tuned in and commented and chatted on our show. Y'all were wonderful. Y'all were incredible. Y'all helped make this show oh so great and oh so phenomenal. We got 163 people coming in on this stream today. Let's see if we can break that record for tomorrow. Top chatters for this show on today. Number 5 was Barry Berry. Number 4 was Love King. Number 3 was Ryan Graves. Number 2 was Abman Rhoda. And number 1 pound for pound chatter for this show on today was Boxing Pro. Congratulations to you. We appreciate you coming in. We appreciate you coming and being so active on this show. Can you keep your number 1 pound for pound spot coming on Thursday or coming on Thursday? Yep, we're gonna find out if you can sustain it, and we're gonna see if somebody else shakes up the rankings of the pound for pound chatters for our show. But we thank you all for tuning in. We thank you all for listening. And hopefully, or not even hopefully, we're going to be here on Thursday with more action, with more fervor, with more fun and excitement. And we appreciate all of the time with you all today. If you can support the channel, like I said, one last plug, Cash App, PayPal, links down below in the description. If you'd like to support the show, it would mean the world to me and help us to invest into the show, to pay some bills, and to help make this show bigger, better, and stronger, all for you viewing and listening pleasure, because I can't do this without you, and you all mean everything to me and this community, no question about it. But hey, I've been Jean-Luc Welch. You all have been wonderful. Peace and love. Oh, we right here. Yes, sir. We gonna see you all on Thursday. Be safe. Be blessed. Enjoy your day. Salute to you. And we out of here.